The stardate is 60381.1. In essence, the following day. The U.S.S. Achilles is still some 9 days of retrofit and refit to go. The Klingons are still present and are amassing their fleet, their escort fleet for the Chancellor and the Emperor of the Klingon Empire to head back into Klingon space. The Tripolity with their Lord Roland Starrix and his starship Tiananmen are still present for their own reasons. How much is known of them will be left to Starfleet's, you Starfleeters, picking at that particular question. And, of course, there's the Romulans who are still here to have their talks with Starfleet and the Federation, both to figure out precisely what is going on in the Romulan Civil War. And lastly, just to make your lives that much easier, it would seem that a representative of the Federation Council is en route to the station. But all that said, that sounds like a lot of problems for people who have 3 or more pips on their collar, and I believe one of them has already left the station, so good luck to the remaining 4-pipped officer. The rest of you are still on your leave time. The standing order as of current is to take your leave and rest unless some great act of war or regional emergency requires your recall. First place we look to in the early hours of the morning, well, of Alpha Shift, so to speak, since we are in a space station, morning is rather relative. We look to a rather sparse lounge. With one Captain Pend.
Fuck.
Having a moment away from, he's not in his office, he's not on his ship because the ship's busy with stuff, and he's pointedly, I imagine, not on the upper decks of the station where he would have been expected to be. If nothing else, or in his appointed room, all in the effort to get something done, something to eat, without being bothered. But I wonder how long that will last.
Probably about 2 minutes.
Phone set timer for 2 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. What sort of breakfast is Pend having, if any? Some people don't have breakfast. So, much to my surprise, but it's a thing.
Honestly, it'll probably have like an apple, a banana, a fruit juice, and like a cup of tea. Just something you can throw down quickly if something comes up.
Fresh, or do you have it replicated?
He honestly doesn't care.
Probably got it replicated then. So you have to kind of go out of your way to get the fresh stuff. Tooth game, in case that wasn't already obvious. What is
we're in
Pend
space
working
dock. How can we go to yellow alert in space dock?
Oh, there's some stakes involved, despite this being your ship being in dry dock.
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy? Which parts of diplomacy? Domestic or interstellar?
Let you pick.
Hey, you're the one working on it. You're working on your family. You're looking into the Klingons. You're looking into the Romulans. You're looking into the rumors of this Federation Council on their way in. Or something to do with your own ship. I mean, you have a lot on your table that supposedly you're supposed to have time off, and that hasn't happened yet. You had all of I think you had all of half an hour of downtime yesterday. So
Yeah, I think we've established that Penn doesn't actually get leave. He turns up for leave just to go, no, that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, there's a project he would like to work on, but that's not going to happen. So instead, he's going over trying to set up a meeting with Martok or the Chancellor, and then trying to set up a meeting with the Senator. Individually.
Who do you want to try first? Because you could make that roll. You might be able to ferret your way into an early day meeting.
I'd like either Martok or the Chancellor first, whichever one seems more realistic.
Martok or the Chancellor? Who's the Chancellor you're talking about?
Oh, Martok or the Emperor.
I was gonna say, Martok's still the Chancellor.
You knew what I meant.
No, I didn't. That's why
I mean,
asked.
if you don't want him to be, do I have a society to invite you to?
'Cause I know the Emperor's still here, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
that's not that's a guarded secret for his safety, if nothing else.
yeah. But like I said, it's one of those who wanted to try and set up a meeting with either the Chancellor or the Emperor.
Give me. We'll call this control or presence plus command. Difficulty of. We'll just call it a good 3. Control presence plus command. Difficulty 3 to try to impress upon the Klingons that it's important they talk to you and they talk to you soon.
I assume the Rear Admiral didn't give us any directives. Is it possible that I can create a directive for people?
Right now there is one there's Prime Directive as always.
Yeah.
There's take your leave. That's your second directive. If you wish to assign directives to your ship and try to pull people out of their blissful downtime, you totally could put that upon them.
No, I just want to try and create a directive for reduced diplomatic tensions. But yeah.
Do you have any favors with the Admiral staff? Like with what's his face?
The only I've got favors with the Captain of the Lighten, the Captain of the Carrack, with Trailblazer. Yeah, they're the only ones with any real there, but no.
You could burn the one with Trailblazer. He's of sufficient rank that he can. You actually can get a bit of official support beyond from the station, because right now Admiral Grennan he would be helping you and he would be giving you more directives, and so would his staff. But it seems that something's come up, and they are thoroughly mired in things beyond the current situation. Thanks to because the counselor, namely the Federation counselor, is coming for a reason you're not entirely sure what's going on there, but a Federation council representative is coming, and that's thrown his plans completely out of whack. So, but leaning on your favor with Admiral Trailblazer, you can kind of create a directive, and basically you're able to get an admiral's mission, an admiral officially signing off, going, "Hey, he's doing this. He can pull these resources. He can pull resources from the station, basically." Which also means the station would be assisting you.
Yay. Time to go through traits. Would you accept tried and tested?
Yeah, sure. That put it down to 2.
Tiger of Narendra.
Puts it down to 1.
I don't think you'd accept commanding presence.
Not for those 2, no. Not for Martok or the Emperor.
Or hoplite.
No.
The only one after that I can think of is head of Clan Shishre, but probably not.
If you're considering joining the Empire, sure, but otherwise, no.
Yeah, no. Take a threat.
And that's when Penn left for the Klingon game.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we have things like, paid family leave and dental benefits. With all those hearts we eat, we have to have dental benefits.
Focus in diplomacy.
Yes. Okay. You hit your mark. Now to grab Martok's token wherever the heck I buried it.
Martok or the other Shadow Chancellor that somehow exists.
You mean Oda? Nah, he's busy right now.
I mean, Oda was given the permission to do these kinds of things.
It's true.
Hey, if Ainsley wants to for some reason jump in the Achilles chat.
Yeah. Well, no, he's
Yeah, he's off elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, he's precisely he's about 4. No.
Yeah, we'll
3
be
days
in
out or
Narendra
so.
in a few days.
Yeah. So it's a few days yet. But you're able to get Martok to come in as you meet you in the lounge.
I'll stand up as he approaches. Chancellor?
Yeah. He waves at you as you stand for him, and he takes a seat. He shouts something in Klingon, and the people behind the counter rush around. He plops himself in the chair. He looks about as exhausted as you look. And that's saying something for Klingons.
It seems we both share the same sleep schedule.
Sleep, huh? As if I'm permitted sleep these days.
That's exactly what I mean.
One of the servers comes by and puts over a wriggling and writhing plate of gach, along with doesn't look to be blood wine, but it smells like it could strip paint off a hull if you poured it there. Some Klingon drink or another. I think it's that Raktajino people like so much.
Oh, yeah.
Just pure bitterness and strength. You know, like Klingons.
So, judging from our previous conversation, I assume you weren't my biggest fan in that moment.
What do you think? Mouthful of gach. Choose.
I think I was trying to maneuver us both into a better diplomatic situation, which we both want, especially not with the tripolity around.
Or you could have backed me right there and then.
Yeah.
Points with his fork and yells around his food.
I did back you, but not in the way you expected. That's why I'm trying to talk to you now before I go talk with the Romulans without the tripolity there. So, from what I can gather from the reports, their issues, what they're trying to talk to you about, is to not attack some of their systems, but attack others. Is that right, give or take?
They want us to withdraw and cease our liberation raids in their entirety. Which is not to the Empire's benefit at all.
Maybe an alternative could be suggested.
What sort of alternative?
Well,
Take a swig of this coffee.
if you were to meet with the Senator alone, or with me as an intermediary, I don't have to be, it's just an option. But especially without Starex there, you could maybe go the direction of, if you or if they offer you some names of systems that belong to the... Was it the Imperial?
The
So-
Imperials and the state.
Yeah, so that was the player trying to remember it's the Imperials, yeah. Maybe they could give you some Imperial system names, which you could return later, quote unquote, and leave theirs, the states, alone. That way you still get to keep antsy warrior houses happy enough, and it puts you in a decent diplomatic stance with the Romulans.
Why should we give any of it back? We liberated it.
For future
We're being
leverage.
proper governors.
A minor concession here for more gains later.
Give me an insight plus command difficulty 2. He focuses a lot on his food, and goes quiet for a bit. Like it seems like he's thinking, but there's something else going on.
Focus in strategy and tactics.
Yeah, that would apply here.
And I'll give you a threat. Reroll.
Yep. There is a look like he almost likes the idea, but there's something else on his mind that he's not giving voice to. There's a complication he isn't saying in an open room like this.
I'll look over to the bar staff. Excuse me?
Hmm.
Can you give us the room?
What? No. This is my bar. Can't kick me out.
Get out.
No.
I'll stand up and start walking over to him.
You walk over to him.
I'll just signal for him to come closer.
The two, one of the bartenders walks over and the other one looks over.
How about this? You two leave the room for the next 5 minutes and keep the doors closed. And you can make a request.
A request? What sort of request?
Try me.
They look at you. The guy you're talking to kind of looks over at the other one and they kind of grab a pad and start tapping at it. Shows it to the other guy. They look at it and nod and they send it over to you. This looks about right.
And what's the request?
It looks like they want you to arrange for a shipment of foodstuffs from a nearby system to be pulled directly to be shipped by Starfleet rather than going through the normal Federation civil cargo service. It's free to ship things around, but the problem is, for the most part, it's just that it takes time for the bureaucracy to catch up to what they need, and like it'll get here eventually. Whereas with Starfleet, it'll get here as soon as the shuttle could get there and back.
Okay.
It's not illegal. It's just more of it's just putting work on Starfleet people who wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
Then I'll just write some orders on the pad and hand it back to them. Take this to the Achilles. They'll assign a con officer and take a shuttle. Now, leave and close the doors.
I'll spend 2 threat for that, sure. And they race off.
I'll head back over to the table. My favourite pastime at the moment. making deals with everyone.
Whir click, whir click, whir click, as you hear magnetic locks sealing the room. Martok hears this, leans back in his chair, and gives you a look.
Please, if I was going to kill you, there's better ways to do it than over breakfast.
He adjusts his knife, his duck tang at his belt a bit, and then he settles back in and continues eating. You get the feeling he was gauging you to see with those killer instinct eyes that Klingons tend to have, and he went from wary to, nope, don't care anymore.
So, you're clearly holding something back even though you like the idea. And I assume you didn't want to talk about it with other people here, so lay it on me.
My intelligence tells me that the Romulan state is unofficially allied with Star X's tripolity. Separating the two is not easily done. Star X is married to a senatorial family. So his voice, though Betazoid, speaks a lot louder in the state's ears than most. I don't think I could get a meeting with Senator Koloch alone. Now without having to deal with the tripolity.
Maybe not you, but I could.
The doors unlock over here. You hear them, oops. You hear it, and they slide open. It seems like someone overrode the lock. A certain Cation walks into the room, looks around. Captain Pend?
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's no rest. Hello, Captain Thatton.
I need a word, Chancellor. Captain? He looks at him like he doesn't recognize this guy at all.
Excuse
And
me.
he looks at Pend questioningly.
Excuse me, Chancellor. Apparently I'm either in trouble or something's happened. You know, usual business.
Chancellor Martok, on behalf of the United Federation of Planets and the Federation Council, I would like to formally set up a meeting with yourself and the Emperor as soon as you're able sometime today. He looks at Pend and looks at him.
Captain Thatton, you're kind of in the middle of me sorting these things out right now.
He looks at you. A moment, Chancellor. He goes back to his food. Then kind of looks over at you, Pen, and waves you to follow him. He steps into a private room off the hall. The Cation rubs his nose and just sighs and computers secure the door. That security protocol Alpha 2. And you hear a faint white noise filling the room as the outside noises of the station fade away.
Oh, to what do I owe this pleasant surprise?
I am on orders from the Federation Council for specifically for the Cations. to speak with the representatives here, to communicate and play ambassador to the various powers here, as it's been made aware that a captain of. He shrugs. Frankly, a captain who is rather close to the matter is handling things on his leave time. So council yanked me from my existing duties and sent me here to deal with it. Didn't know it was you. I just knew that I had orders and I had to turn around from what I was doing and deal with this. And it would have been nice if someone told me that you were already talking to the Chancellor, but the station seems to be in a bit of disarray.
I've got a way you can help me.
Oh, please. No, really, please. Any help would be great right now.
I would like you to have a detailed and lengthy conversation with Mr. Starrex.
I was informed he was here. Saw his ship docked in.
I'm trying to get the Chancellor to play nice with the Romulans, but the Romulans has Starrex in tow. If he wasn't in tow, that can improve relations between the two of them, making our future talks with both of them easier. I was literally trying to set that up as you walked in the door. So I need you to be the verbal punching bag for a little while with Starrex.
Well, you're on leave. As of right now, you're off the assignment. I'm taking over, whether I like it or not.
I mean, do you see any other people here who can really help?
My ship. I already have my executive officer going to meet with Senator Kolek. And I have an ambassador who is going to be speaking with Starrex.
Well, as it stands, I've pretty much got the Chancellor on board with targeted liberation and helping and not targeting the state while targeting the Imperials. Like, a little loss now, but for a bigger gain later. All I need to do is get the Senator alone with the Chancellor to make this happen. Look, I'd much rather be trying to set up my marriage proposal and stuff with Jaishu, but I'm instead doing this because Grennan's busy. So...
Well, I'm going to have to ask you to step out of it for now. Well, I will take your advice into consideration since you've already laid the groundwork. And frankly, I'd rather go with... kind of like that plan anyway, since it does mean that we are not dealing with all three of them at the same table, because that's a headache I don't need.
Yeah, that's kind of why I also, to a degree, bribed the bar staff with a shuttle to go and get some supplies.
Dare I ask what you bribed them with? Like that isn't just a euphemism. That's literally all you did, right?
Oh no, they basically said they want to get some requisitions from a Federation planet. Instead of all the bureaucracy, they're just going to be requisitioning a shuttle with a pilot and bringing supplies to the bar. That's it.
Okay. That's one way to get the bar to leave. Has he said anything about the Aconians yet?
Not yet. I was trying to just get this part of the conversation done first before we jump into everywhere else.
And right.
That's part of the reason why I've been trying to separate Starrex from different conversations, because he's the last one I want to know about extra Iconian entities.
My intelligence tells me he already knows, but...
Maybe, but he probably doesn't know as much as he thinks he does, considering the Alcarans and Aldemona are basically the recipients of that technology, and now the Achilles and the Federation has received it from them.
He takes a paw to one of his ears, starts flicking at it a bit in thought. All right. Thanks, Pend. I'll take it from here, and I'll try not to screw up what you already set up. Maybe this won't take as long as I fear it's going to.
Just reach out if I'm actually needed to come do this stuff again.
I'm on explicit orders not to pull you into it.
Yeah.
Someone on the council doesn't like what you're doing out here for some reason, and I don't know why. From what you're telling me, you're not doing anything all that controversial. You're getting the parties to separate and tell you individually what they want, and then helping them adjudicate. You're mediating. I don't know why I'm here.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not the most liked captain back there due to my past, so it's not a surprise.
Security protocol off.
But yeah, whether it's by orders or not, if I'm actually needed to assist in this stuff, just ask me to assist.
I might take you up on that. For now, stay out of it. The less paperwork I have to do is less paperwork you have to do.
If that's the case, I'm going back into the band finishing my breakfast.
And end of scene as we go to a certain shuttle.
Alright, is Thralic getting pulled back to go make the run?
I hope not.
It would be funny.
Need you to come back for one last job.
Yes,
Damn it, he was almost out. Or damn it, she was almost out.
but just before retirement.
Oops, shoot. Hold on, I need a clean board here.
I mean, I'm probably going to get dinged for the bribing the staff, but that meeting went a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything illegal. You used your resources to help out a Federation citizen. If you did something, if you literally gave them money or something, that'd be a bit of an issue. But hashtag not a lawyer.
I'm just not used to diplomatic things going that well for me.
Getting relieved and told to go take a vacation. Oh, that went really well.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah. Now you can work on your other bureaucracy.
Oh, yeah, that as well.
Well, eventually I'll get your shuttle there. Why is it looking so weird? Longer than that. Longer.
Yeah, it's in the it's a squat model.
Do I have it going? I do, yep. So that was, I believe, Commander Thralic, along with what's her face, Asala.
Yep.
You're probably flying with a couple of other people who are taking leave in the same direction as you were, because I mean, if you're requisitioning a shuttle, you almost never get to requisition it yourself, unless you are a commander. You could just make sure it's just a flight with the two of you. You don't have to share.
Lieutenant
The lieutenant couldn't
thought
do
of that. I wouldn't have thought of it.
Yeah, you have a couple other Starfleet people kind of just hitched a ride with you because they're heading the same direction you are. Like, what? Oh, a shuttle's leaving? We'll take that one. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking our vacation. We're taking our leave time somewhere other than the station. Who's the first shuttle out? You guys? All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's the people from the Achilles. This isn't a secret mission, is it? No, they're on leave. They're not doing anything secret. Everything's fine. But yeah, there were a couple word looks from the other people who came aboard, that just like, oh no, is this an Achilles mission? Did we just get shanghaied into another mission? Oh no, they're actually on leave. Good.
Yes, leave does actually exist on that ship.
That's not what the rumor says. They never sleep even. I hear they do stims all the time to make sure they keep working.
Yeah.
That's what those hoplites are like. They drink cocktails to keep themselves going.
Yes, they're all basically
They're
Bane.
drinking cocktails right now.
No, that's drinking and flying. Bad.
No, not this one. The other ones. They're back at the station or outdoor. They're on vacation.
Did anyone else jump on board that was aboard the Achilles? Did anyone else go along for the ride? Because there's a bit of room on here. Or you could be one of these two people that jumped on the shuttle that's heading to... I have to look up the system again.
It would be perfect.
It's in Federation space. It's the Tweaka system. It's a Federation world along the border. It's about... fair. It's very close.
It'd be a perfect getaway for Arlen and Yolan.
Unless they had
But I
intent...
was gonna invite you. But I was gonna invite you to dinner. Oh, 5 nights.
These hoplites and the drinking at Bavaria beer hall meetings.
That's a callback to a month ago.
Yeah, is either Aza or Arlen going on board the shuttle? Or are they staying on the station, or at least near the station?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be staying on the station.
Yeah, I'll stay on the station, but hey, maybe Lord Starvax really needs a break.
I don't think he's allowed in Federation space like
This
that.
would be the worst place for
We
him
are
in history.
Federation space, but I have a starship. Like, not even like a starship that belongs to the Tripolity. It personally belongs to Stark, so I could be there, but why?
The TNM just flying along. We wanted to see.
If you really want me to stab you, go for it.
I tried to get Azza to let that other person stab me last week, but they wouldn't do it.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
Thralik and Shishashrir are sitting in a shuttle.
KSS.
That's what I thought too.
I was thinking that. I'm like, we're so mature.
Yeah, so you're flying along. Anything particular you do during the flight? You do have it does take a bit of time to get where you're going. Specifically, these ships are pretty nippy, so you can get there in about 3 days there, and then you'll have 3 days to mess around, and then 3 days back at
Alright.
warp. Assuming you're not jumping, unless you are in an emergency, then a starship can kind of just in the air, it can just like the Carrack can kind of swing by and grab you at high warp and bring you back. But you're on leave, so the Carrack isn't being pulled off its duties to help any shuttles out.
Yeah. I think that the shuttle ride is filled with awkward conversation for 2 days before the third day when they kind of get into the swing of things. You know?
Please elaborate.
Yes, explain the boredom to us.
Let's see. So there's a lot of going, so how did you decide to do X thing?
Is there a lot of throwing a ball, the ball, and then catching it, and then throwing it again?
Oh, someone in
no,
the
no.
back's totally doing that.
Oh yeah, no, that between these two at least. Yeah. Thralik is very obviously struggling to figure out how to relax.
On the third day, you two are taking your turn because there's 4 of you. That's the other reason you bring other people with you, is that you can swap out and people can lay down in the back and instead of falling asleep in the chair, sort of thing. You two are on shift, as it were. Although
Mhm.
it's self-imposed because you're on leave, but still, there's a safe way to fly a shuttle and there's a not safe way, and you're flying the safe way. There's a beep on the console. Sister Strict kind of looks over at it and taps at it. Thrall, can you take the controls for a second? I'm getting a communication from the Achilles.
Of course. Take controls.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
Are we getting recalled?
Not technically. We're being asked to pick up some ice on the way home. She sighs and looks over. It seems that the good captain has volunteered our shuttle to grab some supplies from Tweeka before we head back. So we
Some
have to sort that
ice?
out.
Can't they replicate that?
Well, this is some of the fresh goods that are coming from elsewhere in the Federation, and including what's this? Ractogeno beans. Ractogeno beans. What are they growing? Some spring wine. Romulan ale. Oh. And
Most of it's legal now.
2 grubs. And it just goes on and on. Why? her antenna just kind of droop, like, because she knows how tedious a thing this is, because it's literally picking up it's basically turning your shuttle into a little transport truck, as it were. It's like, oh, hey, army guys, while you're out with your truck, could you go grab some stuff and load up your truck with it before you come back? It's like, well, now we have to inventory it and check it and scan it. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that goes into taking custody of this stuff.
I'm guessing the captain made some sort of diplomatic deal.
And
We
the
bribed
rest of my
someone.
pilots are currently on leave. And we're the only one with a shuttle flying around right now, so it fell to us.
Joy.
And we could technically call someone. We could kick this ball down the hill and let someone else climb the iceberg. But she looks over at you. I think that'd be a slight abuse of our powers, much as I would love to do that. We are the closest one to this important mission to get groceries.
Yes. Well, we should still at least have 2 days unfettered by hip errands.
All right, I'll send the acknowledgement back. No insight roll. You get a half feeling that she was hoping you were going to totally abuse your powers and save the both of you the trouble, but she wasn't going to say to do it. And she starts tapping back a acknowledgement back to the Achilles, saying, "Yep, understood." Does that include us? It's just one of the people in the back who kind of wandered around up front to see what you were doing. You with the Achilles? No. Well, if you want to help out, I'd appreciate it, but otherwise, no. You're not on orders, Ensign. Oh. It would look good on your report if you did, but you don't have to. Ensign looks between the two of you again, like they're not sure they're allowed to leave. Well, shoo. She waves at him. And he disappears from the cockpit. The ensign, forgetting that they're on leave, they don't have to be at attention like that all the time. Like, literally, Sister isn't even in uniform. She's in, like, regular civilian clothes, but they know who you two are. They know that you're two senior officers of a starship.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, free ride with high-ranking officers. Hi. We're just gonna stay out of your way is what we're gonna do.
Kind of lean over. I wasn't gonna dismiss him. I was gonna wait.
She chuckles. That's a bit mean. Besides, we might need help with whatever it is they do. Have you talked with either of them?
Not really, no.
I mean, one has his face stuck in a book the whole time. The other one just keeps bouncing a ball off of any flat surface. It's very irritating.
I'm guessing the scientist and engineer them.
Which one?
Let's break form and say the scientist is the one with the ball.
Ah, physics experiment, of course.
Yeah. I'll
Pull you back a bit, 'cause I just realized the planet wouldn't be that far out. You'd be the one predicting the planet. You're not the gravitational center, they are.
You're a gravitational
that we're
center.
not the center of the universe.
Sorry, I don't
I don't know how
follow
I feel
the
about this.
Starfleet-centric model of the universe.
I
Oh,
mean,
not CBS.
technically, we're all the center of our own observable universes. So if you were a day away, you would be in a different center than and what Narendra is.
Nerd!
Ah,
Hello, Kamal.
Hi.
I mean, what a time to enter.
Hey, it's better than
I mean,
Carpinian's
it's
entrance.
about par for the course.
No.
Luckily, you've not missed much. You've missed Penn trying to be diplomatic and getting kicked out and told to have shore leave, and Thralic and Isala just being awkward in a shuttle for a couple of days.
Charlotte not knowing how to take shore leave but being on it, and Pend not being on shore leave and being told he has to. Both of these people have very healthy work habits.
Hey, I want to take shore leave. I'm never allowed.
The one time they try to allow you.
Yeah. Alright, looks like we're on approach.
And it was on this day the sun grew 3 sizes.
Well, that might put a damper on our plans.
Especially around Christmas.
Yeah. Green sun, red planet, Christmas themed.
Quick, get down before the jinglers get here.
You what? This one.
Klingons just appear with like candy cane batlefts.
We don't really do festive unless there's lava to be jumped.
You do celebratory rather than festive.
Only
If
when
you're
we've
allowed.
conquered our enemies.
Yeah. Celebrations mark events as they happen.
Listen, holodecks are a thing. Anything's possible.
Yeah, if y'all have something for us to conquer, we'd be happy to come celebrate.
Look at this planet we have conquered with tiny people with long ears.
Excuse me.
No excuses.
Oh,
Only
oh,
justice.
all right. Well, if I've been dishonored, I shall commit seppuku then.
No, that's in the Klingon game. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
You just have to write a report about why you think the Federation is good and stuff. 12,000 words, double spaced.
No.
Normally they tell you not double spaced, right? Because that makes it longer.
Well, alternatively, you could have quadruple spaced it. So,
So
So it's sci-fi.
how would that look? Title: My bosses are super brilliant people. Full stop. Please don't read this or they will know what I'm doing. Please send help. Stop.
Tweak it. There. So you come upon the Tweaka system, a world with a blue-white star, along with a gas giant with a ring and a ice ball, basically an ice world. There's a bit of traffic coming and going in and through the system beyond you. I won't bother picturing them because this is one of the major trade stops, short of getting all the way to Narendra Station. This is the planetary one.
All right.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
So,
Take.
what can we expect here?
Doom and destruction.
Oh, we're the same. Thought we were on vacation.
Ha. The fact that you believe that myth now.
I'm not myth anymore.
But tis. Let me just get my things in order. Give me a reason plus con difficulty of 1, assisted by the shuttle's computers plus con, to see what you know about the planet and and it's a member world. Like this isn't a world that was colonized. This is a world that joined the Federation.
All right. So slow navigating on this trackpad. Doesn't have a scroll function. Just like drag all anyway. Nope, don't have a focus for that. I'll spend momentum for a third die. So I'm rolling
Spin.
11 here. I have no idea.
You know the name and you were heading there. You didn't exactly do your homework on this place.
No idea. I'm good for that.
As you come up to the world, you notice that there is a like an outpost in orbit, and you can see that there are ships coming and going. There are very few small craft coming from the station and down to the planet. Like most of the almost all the interstellar activities happening at the station, than with the planet itself. Oh, we're being hailed, it seems.
I'll pull that up. Answer the hell.
This is the Tweaka Starport Authority. Achilles shuttle Alchemedon. We have you registered for flight plan here under security marker Delta 3 Delta. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I assume you still wish to dock up with the station, or has any of your plans changed at this time?
Changes of plans, Control.
State the amendment, please.
No changes to plan.
I'm sorry, Alchemedon. Say again. I thought you said that plans had changed.
Negative.
Oh. Continue to docking bay 3. Control out.
Acknowledged.
Is it just me, or do they seem half asleep over there?
Yeah.
Can't be that busy.
Well, maybe that's the problem.
See, this is why I prefer Starbase. Starbases, everything's very organized and in its place.
There's definitely an advantage there. Great. You have to talk to orbital control. Really depends on the planet.
So, setting up for dock then?
Snod.
And the shuttle, no test, just flies over. And you are able to dock up with the station that it's a pretty tiny it's a pretty tiny space station. There's a few places with it's a tiny station, but it has like big long arms that extend out away from it to allow various small craft to dock up with the station, as well as larger craft, because the station itself can't really handle very big ships, but it has this extended docking capacity to kind of allow for ships slightly larger or of equivalent scale to it to kind of be able to dock up and refuel and stuff like that.
Was it built Federation standard, or was it built before they joined Federation?
This is a Tweaka starport.
All right.
It's the Tweakan style of architecture, and it actually looks a bit well. Actually, give me Insight Engineering difficulty 1.
All right. Significantly better at that. By 1 point. Focus and observation.
Sure.
It matters so much with my 2. I'll just roll 2. There we go. Generated back that momentum from earlier.
You are able to determine that this station looks... Well, it actually... You remember the some cultures, even Andorians way back, there was these big colony ships that they would send off to places, put people in cryo or some other form of stasis, and then fling them off to some world and hope they'd be able to get there and settle. Because you're talking low warp. You're talking somewhere in the range of warp 1 through warp 5. Like it takes a while to get places. Or if you had pre-warp civilizations that sent people off at approach close to what amounts to high impulse.
Yeah. A significant portion of C.
Now this looks to be a type of colony ship of some sort. And looking at your some of the scans on the shuttle, which actually... Oh, you actually get another momentum out of that because the shuttle would have hit on a 3. You can see that there is the space station, which is the bulk of this sort of colony ship or city ship that's in orbit. And then there's a small chunk of it that broke away, and that's where the local inhabitants have lived before the Federation found them. Most of the planet is actually inhabited not by the Tweaka, but by various other Federation citizens who have moved here over the years, building their own little settlements. It's a sort of it's a frontier world, but it's frontier in the same way that if we go driving outside some cities, you can find campgrounds. It's wilderness, but not really. You know what I mean? There's some amenities civilization attached to the place now. Cleared off areas. Starfleet checks on them every so often. Like this station in orbit is the equivalent of the local gas station and store. You know what I mean? So it's become a little more. It used to be just them hanging out here, and then Federation came along, and well, they got a lot more visitors.
So this isn't the original like Tweakin' homeworld?
No, this is not the Tweakin's homeworld. Their homeworld's is deep in the Beta Quadrant on the other side of the Shackleton.
Right.
Where that is, they don't know. They've lived here for centuries, so to them, it's someplace we used to live. We don't. This is where we live now. But they're not the native inhabitants of this world. And you can see some of the order. Some of the order involves specific plant life that's grown here on Tweaka Prime.
What? Kind of idly. Is that a retrofitted starship? And pull up the scans and kind of thinking out loud. It is.
You can also give me insight plus security difficulty of 2, assisted by computers plus security to see what's going on here locally. You get the feeling that they're very busy, but they shouldn't. Again, like Sister Spirit said, they shouldn't be that busy. Like they're not swamped. Like it's not like they have unusual amount of traffic. So something's going on here.
Military history focus?
I would take it.
In that case, trait of military family?
I'd take it. So diff 1.
There we go.
Shuttle would have hit with that.
Yep.
So you gain a momentum. Looking at the some of the security notices, it's nothing like red alert. It's more like it's more like a yellow alert bulletin, as it were. Like, hey, Starfleet people, be aware. As you dig around a bit, it seems that the Tweaka settlement has locked itself, has closed up its doors and turned on its shields. They basically barred them. They barred entry or anyone entering or leaving their settlement. The rest of the planet's fine. There's no planetary order to stay away, or there's no security alert. It's just the Tweakins, for some reason or another, have sealed themselves up in their settlement. And the locals don't know why, and no one's shooting at them. There's no alarms or anything. There's no distress call, so people just kind of kept doing what they're doing because they're not the majority of population here, so no one really looked into it.
And
it's been like this for the last week.
Out? Any communication out of the settlement?
Nope.
There's a minor planetary mystery down there. So, Weekends have shut themselves inside. I guess it's one less destination.
Odd. Oh well. Hopefully you don't need anything in there.
Yeah. Well, if we do, we have a good reason.
We do. Her antennae curl in annoyance.
Fantastic. We do.
Tweakin' rice, apparently. She points to one. Of all the items on here, a lot of the items here are just things that this place is a trade post, so people do come here at the station and come and go. Like, you know, like I said, cleaning a gawk and all that other stuff. It's like, oh, that's just stuff you can pick up from a merchant on the station. That's fine. You almost never have to go to the plant for most of this stuff. except for one item on this whole list, and it's rice. That's only grown by the Tweakins in their settlement.
Well, maybe there's been some that's been shipped out for sale before they put up their walls. You know, otherwise we might have a mystery on our hands. Or we might not get everything. Not to spend all vacation hunting for rice.
So you want to try buy everything from the station then?
I think it makes sense.
Give me presence plus command oppose, because you're not the only people trying to buy stuff here. Other merchants might beat you to what you're trying to get.
Yeah.
I'll just amalgamate them as a group. So this is a trade post, and the Ferengi, due to a certain Ferengi increasing a lot of trade in the region from House of Gitta, there's quite a few Ferengi around here. And due to a certain Orion that's in the region, there's a lot of Orion traders in the area. So you're actually looking at a dice pool of 5 dice. Because they're welcome to competing with other merchants for the same things. A thing you normally don't have to worry about, but now you see why the Federation bureaucracy's been a little slow lately. They've had to trade is booming, but that also complicates matters.
Dilithium's at an all-time low.
Yeah, dilithium's price is it's plummeting through the floor.
Trait of relentless.
You'll get 1 free hit for that.
All right.
Does the directive pen created earlier kick in?
Ease diplomatic tensions? Not really, no. There's no tension here. It's just you're competing with other merchants to buy stuff instead of waiting for it to be allocated by the Federation Economic Council. Like the Economic Council eventually gets what people want, but they're not in a hurry. Unless it's like life or death, they're not going to push other merchants out.
This order came from the fact that I needed to speak to Martok to reduce diplomatic tension.
Right.
So
there's no diplomatic tension though.
I know I'm stretching.
I noticed.
Focus of strategy and tactics. Try that.
Walk me through that one. I think I see it, but I'm not sure.
Strategy and tactics isn't just military. It's also about management of resources, resource flow, acquisition, and
logistics. Yeah, logistics. I follow you.
Yeah. Right. You know what? Sure, I'll buy up to 5 dice with the momentum that we have. Gonna find that rice.
Do you want an assist from Asala?
Sure.
What's our target number? 1, 2, 3. 3 hits. So you generate 4 momentum.
Asala.
You have a complication. Asala gets short-tempered with somebody. Look, just give me the rice. You don't have to talk to me that way. I don't have to sell to you at all. No, that's not what I meant. It's been a long flight. That's not my problem. I don't need to be rude. I'm not.
I'll use 2 for the momentum generated to go to smooth things over in a diplomatic manner.
Yeah, you're able to soothe the efforts of this alien who really got super offended by Shishishir, and Asala just wasn't thinking about it. It's like, oh shoot, right? The species really touchy about that sort of thing. Like she just doesn't have the patience to deal with them right now. But eventually able to get almost everything on the list except for the rice, unless you spend 2 momentum as an advantage, which amounts to you basically spending some some of your personal luxury credits to kind of just go, hey, look, you have rice, right? Yeah, here's a bunch of Federation credit. You can buy it again yourself. I'm actually paying you more than it's worth. Just give me rice. Like, oh, okay, I guess.
I just like we get to this merchant who's being stubborn about this, and have the rice mutter to Solid, Penn's paying me back for this, and give him the extra credits.
I mean, to be fair, Penn would have just told you to charge him.
I don't have access to Penn's bank account.
Someone there would.
She has access to her account. You're the head of the household. She has her own money.
Should have access.
Does she now? Well, she'll remember that. There was a solar sailor she really wanted, but... What do you mean our coffers are empty? What happened? Oh, someone just bought their own starship. No! But no. But yeah, no, you're able to... you're able to get all the stuff you wanted, and including the rice. The rice was, you really overpaid for that, but whatever. Post-Scary Society, it doesn't really... It's not going to screw with your vacation.
Yeah.
It's more of an annoyance of, I'll use my Federation credits. Hold on.
Just... Right, well... Good fruit and stuff markets.
And with all that said and boarded on, by that point, long before your business was done, your two flight buddies got off the shuttle before they got roped into trading, because they want to use their Federation credits for other stuff. And you basically blew through all your current amount of luxury credits for today anyway, that you had planned. So you're kind of on Asala's luxury credits if you want anything beyond normal day-to-day stuff. Because that was expensive. You basically bought a whole cargo unit worth of rice. The thing's huge.
We have so much rice.
I'll be right back.
I hope it's good rice.
I hope it's good rice.
Yeah, you'd think you might want to make sure it's like biologically compatible with you or something before you buy it, right?
I mean, we're not buying it for us. So... somebody on the station wants it.
Kind of weird how he's kind of forcing us into, like, free time.
I think it's funny. With the two of us, because neither of us takes vacation time.
But it's not just that, it's like he's forcing us into it, and it's like, what's going to go wrong now?
Yeah. You told us to do this. Come on. And, yeah, I still don't think Frog's figured out how to have fun. But, working on it.
Yeah, it's like, the main reason why Ben recommended you go is like, one, don't be around Star Rex, I don't want to deal with that nonsense. And two, you probably have about as much free time as Ben. It's just like, you try and have fun.
Yeah. No, like, I think the rumors about the Achilles really fall down to its commander and XO don't take vacation time.
And I am back. So the only other question I have left for Thralic for the time being is, what is Thralic going to be doing, intending to do on their time on Tweeka? Sister is just here just because it's a nice place to camp and get some outdoor air, but not have to get full on survival gear mode. Meet up with some people. She was hoping to go to the Tweeka settlement, but they're closed off. She's not really in the mood to deal with that right now. It's like she came here for camp, maybe beam up to the station, do some stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
What is Thralic's intentions?
Basically the
Are
same.
they pure? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, basically the same. Do some camping, be out in the wilderness. Maybe get some climbing in on some actual surfaces rather than holograms?
Give me fitness con difficulty 2 to see if you have a suitably challenging time, but at the same time not so challenging that you're basically like you didn't twist your ankle, you didn't try a climb that was too hard for you, that sort of thing. You just had fun.
Climber trait.
Diff 1.
Cool.
And
Fitness
Asala can
athletics.
assist because she's with you to enjoy the trip with you, so it's like, well,
Athletics focus there.
yep.
Um,
So I should go to the planet.
all right, I made it.
Asala does not have a focus.
Does
You
get
gained a momentum out of it, and you, for the time being, you're able to enjoy the great outdoors of the planet of Tweeka.
Wonderful.
For now. Mwahaha. I mean, what? Sorry. For some
Mhm.
new scene as we cut to elsewhere. So unfortunately, I get the cloud back. Eventually, I'll find what I'm looking for. Clear all that out. Clear. Put that there. Back on Narendra Station. What the what? Oh,
Something wrong?
Discord messages being very, very frightening. Who else is here?
Basically, the command staff of the Achilles.
Yeah.
Please form a queue for stabbings to the left, punching to the right.
All right, so between Lieutenant Arlen, Aza, Lieutenant Commander Aza, Lord Roland Starrix, and Dr. Lieutenant Koval, who wants to go first to tell me what they're up to on Narendra Station? Why do I have the creepy music still? Go away. It's just the port. Shoo. It's just port music. There we go. What would any of you be doing on your leave time or be seeking to do on Narendra Station?
Well, Starrix still has diplomatic things to achieve, so tracking down that admiral who's supposed to be an arbiter, or finding his replacement, and cornering a Klingon chancellor.
You can either try to find that Chancellor Martok again, or you can meet up with. Actually, that's one thing that's been updated to you. It seems that the Federation Council has sent a representative here to deal with the various diplomatic affairs on behalf of the Federation, specifically a representative of the planet of Kate. So you could seek that person out, or you could try to find where Martok is on the station, try to confront him. Because Admiral Grennan seems to be very busy all of a sudden.
Then I'll find Dalthatin, because The thing with Martok is a secondary objective, not a primary objective.
Okay. You were saying, Asa?
Oh, sorry, I did not mean to interrupt. I see. I don't want to be everyone's den mother, but I know these Starfleet types, they don't like to take those breaks when they need them. So I want to go around and make sure like this is mandatory fun time. No one is stressing themselves out. I want to make sure everyone is taking their vacation as they deserve it.
Yours actually I can fire up pretty easily. Presence plus command. Difficulty of 2 to make sure the various members of the Achilles are actually taking leave time and not finding work to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is leave
All
time,
right.
not do other work time.
Yeah, yeah, and leave time means like no doing anything that's stressing yourself out. Um, all right, focus in conversation or psychiatry.
um, Conversation would cover most of the crew. Psychiatry would be covering your active patients, like people who have standing issues that they really shouldn't be. Depends which one you're focusing. If you're focusing in the general or or on specific cases.
Oh wow, that's a good question. Um, cast a wide net, catch a lot of fish. I'll go for conversation. Um, and I will spend our one momentum.
And the station will help you with this because you are doing your. It doesn't help you with it. Sorry. I don't care what the stat says the ship is. There's no way the station has a 19. But no, you're able to keep tabs on various members of the crew. You do notice that the captain of the ship has basically sent a call for a grocery run, as it were, if is what it amounts to. But by the time you look into it, it's already been they've gotten their groceries. They packed around the shuttle. It took them all of like 2 hours, and they're like, "We're done. We did the thing. We'll when we come back, we'll offload it. But otherwise, we're having fun. We're camping." So you're
That's
aware that the your captain made certain parts of the ship do extra duties. Thankfully, it didn't take long.
I'm not going to sweat that. Um, and then I just want to make sure all of the player characters, all of the senior staff are also not exerting themselves at this time.
That's a good question. Other player characters, are any of you exerting yourselves? Or planning to exert yourselves? Looking at Koval, that troublemaker. Koval?
Efrex.
Arlen.
Arlen said he was boiling an egg.
Right. So, asterisks there, counselor. I'm not sure. They may be pressing themselves or not. That is the mystery of the episode. It seems.
If you can't get a hold of them, it sounds like they probably are going too hard.
Yeah, I don't know, some dramatic, like not their fault, obviously, but some dramatic irony and having an hour of off-screen time, and then the second you're on screen, you wind up AFK.
Were you
Um,
trying to get me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep.
I know the feeling. No, actually, I do. But yeah, no. What is Koval up to on the station? at present, because the counselor's checking out on everyone, making sure they're actually taking their leave time.
Oh boy. Uh, probably catching up on some journals. It's not exactly rest worthy, but you know, the doctors, they're bad at it. Um, I know she did a lecture the last time, or she picked Efrix's brain last time. For uh, was it like the gosh, words are hard. The
okay.
technology that the medical technology that she was it that
You
Was
mean
it
like
the
the
can't
applied
remember.
calc?
medical technology or the Shiri?
I can't remember if it was the Calcat or the Kasho technology that we worked on, or if it was an extension of the device that she had started that would like filter out without harming an organic like creature that was small enough to be in your bloodstream. I can't remember which one it was. I know they talked and it was going to be more than one visit before she got the hang of it. Let me see if it's written in the notes somewhere.
Oh, you're talking about the synchronizer gun.
The butterflies.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Because
The
we
nano
ran into
butterflies.
something else where it was like a similar situation. I think that's what it was, but I could be wrong.
It would seem that the doctor is doing some in-depth research on some fairly high-level medical matters. So I don't know if the council wishes to intervene or not.
It's not
Oh,
work.
okay. Doctor, I am not going to order you to have fun, but I would strongly encourage you to take your leave and do something that'll relax you. Overwork reduces productivity over time, and if you don't give yourself breaks, you'll eventually get burnout.
This is fun.
If you think it is.
Other than that, I assume that she and Rylov get up into some kind of mischief.
Actually, it would seem that Rylof's been called in by Starfleet Security to deal with something, so he's actually absent from you. And that's the one thing that Aes is actually informed of that station security basically pulled them off, and they're going to. It's a matter of interstellar security, so it's one of
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh,
downside of being a security officer. You get leave time, like, no, if something important comes up, then you're pulled off. It's like, damn it.
there's always a matter of Federation security at hand. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. You should overwork your workers. I want to file a formal complaint with whoever I should file a complaint with for them not giving our officers a break.
So you're gonna file so that would be filing a complaint with Admiral.
Grennan?
Well, not with Admiral Grennan. It'd be the guy over Grennan.
Yeah,
Okay.
these people aren't getting enough leave, so Az is going to use hers to engage in bureaucracy.
Yeah.
You know, it's military Earth bureaucracy. I mean, how easy could it be? It'll take like 3 minutes to write this paper.
So we'll pull you in there. Control or presence plus command. Difficulty of, I'll say it's 2. It's just a matter of sitting there and going through the work of filling out the paperwork and officially lodging your complaint. And you're within your rights as a counselor to go, hey, wait a minute. Look, I know you need him, but like he's supposed to be on leave. You gave him orders to be on leave, then you pulled him off. Like, where are we supposed to find the leave time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I assume. Would psychiatry be a stretch here? Are we looking for like bureaucracy or Starfleet protocols?
I could see psychiatry here because you could make the argument from a psychiatric point of view of like
Mhm.
why, because you're acting as in your capacity as a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, I know he's Romulan, but like Romulans rest too, you know, believe it or not.
All right. Take. Yeah, take one threat. I can do this.
And it's like it's one of those like, yes, he's a Romulan. It's like, well, he's not complaining. Yeah, they're not supposed. They're trained not to. That's the whole problem.
Your workers not complaining doesn't mean you shouldn't give them breaks.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'll let the comp stand. Why not?
This is a reason for him to have continued bad rep rolls.
You are called up to the operation deck where Commander Lesix is to discuss this matter in person. He's the Commander Lesix is the strategic operations officer, so he's the day-to-day telling ships what to do guy, basically.
All right, Chief Note. I'm not wearing my uniform to go up to talk to him, but I will go up to talk to him.
Okay. So you go up, you enter the operation deck. You see through the glass. Actually, I think it's the first time Ace has been in here.
Yeah.
Come to think of it. So you see him in there. There's lots of important looking things on the screens that aren't particularly relevant to you, but you can tell that it's movements of like the Lighten, of the Carrack, how the Achilles is doing. You can see there's research on the Kashoans going on. There's something about the Klingons going on, and there's a few people milling around in the room that are doing things.
There's a cruise ship heading to that camping planet.
Yeah, there's something about like, oh yeah, something about that Tweaka that's going on. We should probably look into that. Like, Leslie kind of looks up through the glass and sees you and waves for you to come in. I'll note that you normally wouldn't be able to. Well, actually, you're Lieutenant Commander. You can come up to the operation deck. You're of appropriate rank, but you just never had a reason to be here.
Yeah, usually I have more important things to do. I avoid the nerd room. I have a con of 1. I don't concern myself with matters of space. You know, as a thinks of like work travel, how like a casual person thinks of like I don't know, the internet or electricity. Like it's just a thing. Don't worry about it.
I love the idea of someone meeting a counselor who tells them, "I don't have concepts of space," or "I don't respect concepts of space."
She knows, but okay.
No, it's okay.
I will.
Different kind of space.
I will enter the room looking a tad bit annoyed and trying to cover up the fact that she is annoyed, but also kind of wanting to let you know that she's annoyed.
Lesix doesn't. It looks up and sees you and just gives a gesture of 1 second and then types something out. Gives someone an order to take a station as to do whatever he's doing. Kind of walks over to a corner of the room away from the crush of traffic.
What species is he? Is he human?
He's Trill.
Trill.
And as a medical officer, you'd be
throat. Oh, go ahead.
So, you go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm going to clear my throat to announce my presence.
He'll walk by you and wave you over to the corner of the room where he is.
Okay. And what were you saying?
You notice he's pulling you away from the press of the operation room, but he's not leaving the operation room. Like you can still see that even as he's talking to you, he's kind of glancing around the room, watching what's going on, and then he's paying attention to you.
Right. Just a moment ago, you said as a medical officer.
Oh yes, as a medical officer, you'd be aware that this person is. The only thing of medical note about this guy is well, two things. One, not joined. You would know that.
Mhm.
Two, this guy has a synthetic spine implant. But beyond that, that's really the two medical things you might know about this guy. And he's a veteran, so he's been serving for a while.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was serving during the war, just like you were.
Commander, I don't understand this. The Achilles as a frontline ship sees so many officers worked to the bone, and when they finally get a break, you allow Starfleet security to call some of their men back into service. Do you know how many people work in Starfleet security? Surely someone else can hold that phaser.
The problem is, counselor, and this is why I called you here in a more secure space, because it wasn't something I want to talk about over bureaucratic channels, because those are logged. There is the Romulan Civil War is on the brink at the moment, and we need the insights of a former naval officer to look into it. We do know of another Romulan. He clears his throat like he's going to say something rude. And he corrected himself. He's trying to think of a better word. For lack of a better word, a Romulan defector. We know of two here. One has suitable security clearance, and one has suitable medical clearance. And we don't have a medical question; we have security questions.
You're telling me
But
there's not one other person in the billions of people in the Federation who can do this job? I
within my command structure, no, they're the only. The Ramen, although defectors are on the rise, most of them have been going into either the 10th Expeditionary or into the 7th Fleet, rather than our fleet, because we're
oh, I wonder
technically
why.
a bit detached from the. We're supposed to be detached from Romulan theater, but he gestures to the room, and then he gestures vaguely at a part of the room that's dedicated to Romulan affairs. And he just kind of shrugs and just looks at you and says, as if to say, "Yeah, we're not supposed to be doing that, but we are."
Yeah, I'm shocked to find that Romulans wouldn't want to work here. Um, l- Look, Commander, I guess I can believe that you needed to put this person back into service, and I guess I can believe that you needed to make two other officers do a milk run for you because no one here could do that. But
Hmm? No
you
one.
have to. Oh, you assigned, well, I presume you, but someone on the station assigned people on a vacation run to go pick up supplies for them.
Uh, I didn't authorize. I didn't call for any of that. One second. He gestures to someone and says, "Pad, pad." And the person, oh, and they walk over and hand him a pad. They stand at attention. Well, go away. You have something to do. Oh, yeah. Sorry, counselor.
He
One
says,
second.
he's just doing the Spock eyebrow where it's like really raised. Uh, Forgive me for my ignorance, Commander, but isn't assigning shuttles and monitoring flight paths and all of that like your job?
You guys gain a momentum as Lesix finally knows what's going on because he actually looked it up. It seems that Captain Pend has taken up a cargo run for a bar on the mid decks. I don't know why he did that. That wasn't me though. He basically pulled one of his own shuttles off. But yeah, if I would have gotten the Carrick to do it or something like that if I thought it was important, but it's he casually just holds the pad over to you. But it's just a grocery run, a standard issue food delivery. They would have gotten it in a week. Not sure why your captain felt the need to speed it up.
I just, this is something I will never understand about the Federation. How all of you just seem chronically incapable of taking a break. Um,
It is, and that's why we have counselors. So to make sure we do. If you really insist, counselor, I will find someone else. and I'll work with other officers. I was hoping. Well, we'll be honest. I was hoping to get this done quickly, but you're right. I shouldn't be trying to press my stress onto my subordinates. It's not fair to them, and at present, we're not at war with the Romulans, so I don't think we need to rush too much on it. But
Thank you.
if you want to stand on your
Commander.
objection, I'll reassign them back to leave duty.
Thank you, Commander. I'm glad that you listened to me.
Just avoid the Admiral for the next little while. I'll deal with him. He's going to be mildly irritated, but that's supposed to be my problem now, Counselor, not yours.
Oh, thanks. Then I owe you one, and I'll tap one shoulder and leave.
He nods to you and gets back to what he's doing. Thanks for the whoa. And Counselor, give me Insight Medicine difficulty 2. There's something about what you've been doing the last little bit. You may have realized something.
Right, medicine, psychiatry focus.
I'd say so.
All right. I'll take a momentum.
Sure. Gain a momentum. You've had some time to let this thought percolate, because it didn't jump out at you right away. But when you think about Kaval again, you know that she could be doing the way she takes leave. She is the sort of like a lot of doctors. Some of them do continuing education, or they do other stuff even on their leave. Like they'll go hiking or shooting or whatever, but they'll bring a book along, because they're always reading. They're always doing something. The doctor is like you kind of oversaw someone. You saw someone talking about something, and you know that the doctor is basically in one of the an office space attached to the operation room. Which she's allowed to do that. She's a chief medical officer. But it's kind of... She really went out of her way. It's as if she was trying very, very hard to evade... She's evading something. She's avoiding something. Actively. Above and beyond just taking a break. Because this is a starbase. Starbases are huge. They're cities. And she chose the one place that requires command level clearance to get into. But she's not doing anything command related, so something's
Okay.
up.
Well, I am nosy and meddlesome enough to at least check in on her, see what she's up to.
Oh, I thought she was gonna realize that she herself was working while she was supposed to be working.
I mean, that too, but
At most, Lesix kind of looks over and notices that you were about to leave. You turn around and start heading the other way. And he doesn't stop you because you're a lieutenant commander. You can walk around here if you need to.
she's
Maybe
a
you're doing
lieutenant
some important
commander.
counselor things. He doesn't know.
She's a lieutenant commander in Bajoran robes at the moment. But in any case, I will ding at the door.
Ping. You hear a chime from the door, Caldwell.
The people that are coming from there are usually higher ranked than me, so enter.
Oh, doctor. I happened to be up here on the operations deck, and I was just curious. What are you up to?
Oh, just following a thread I was looking into the last time I had leave. Looking for some quiet. Found it. I thought.
I do so apologize for bothering you. I just wanted to make sure you are relaxing.
As much as I ever relax? Yes.
Well, that's great to hear. In that case, I think I have other things to attend to. Enjoy your research.
Enjoy your leave.
One more. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, okay. Now I'm definitely going to be a little bit guilty, but like I'm definitely adding to most of these people's my personal file on most of this crew that they are all like suffering from like overworking themselves.
Workaholics, I think is the phrase there. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing that you might have noticed,
Mm-hmm.
because she's on leave, I almost called her Efrix. Caval like is like kind of like posture is much more relaxed than usual, even a little like maybe slumped, which is super unusual because you've been in the office with her. You've seen the way she normally sits. It's like usually on the edge of the chair, straight back, like even when she's typing, like
This is the
perfect
start every way to
posture.
sit at your chair, the approved ergonomic way to be most efficient.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Or the most ergonomic way
and
to,
there's normally a certain amount of guardedness to um like muscle guardedness that she has
Mhm.
from the pain that like doesn't seem to be as present because she's working on something fun.
Well, okay, that definitely suits Aza's fears then, that she's not working, she is in fact playing.
But she was, as usual, kind of cagey about it.
Mhm. You know, if she wants her space, she can have her space.
Cue,
For
there's
all
plenty of space joke.
I was gonna say, for all you know, she's hiding from you or the cadets.
Both.
I am. Asa is not a naturally suspicious person. She's going to assume that if you work for the Federation, you probably have a good reason to do whatever you do. Wait.
And with that, we cut to Starix going to a conference room to meet Captain Athaton.
Not the captain I was expecting, but a captain who could be useful nonetheless.
He stands out of his chair and reaches out his paw to shake your hand. Lord Starix,
I don't think we've ever had the pleasure before.
I've heard of you by reputation alone, both good and bad. I doubt you've heard of me.
I have not. But I'm more surprised that anyone's heard the good.
I like to get more than what the Starfleet security gives on VIPs. Sometimes actually checking the diplomatic core file is of use.
Starks will sit down.
He takes a seat. I am here mainly in my capacity as a citizen of Kate to represent the interests of my Federation Council representative, and in a diplomatic capacity with Starfleet to speak with you, and frankly to ask you what the Tripolity's intentions really are. I mean, there's what your chancellor has said, but you're the head of your state, so that has to your words have a bit more weight, I would imagine.
our current major goals are an end to the war with the Aldemona, which, since your admiral is no longer available, I hope that you can help with. Our other major goal is an end to Klingon hostilities in the Romulan Civil War.
All right. Well, at present, I can tell you that Rear Admiral Grennan is treating with the Aldemona and Alcarans to more formally enshrine our connection with them. My understanding is that you want to seek arbitration under their galactic law system. Right now, it's making sure our bureaucracy lines up with their bureaucracy, so we don't get any lines crossed. These new species have a very detailed and venerable legal system that that Starfleet and the Federation have to get used to. But that can be arranged in some order. But I can't guarantee you a hard timetable simply because we're dealing with species that are somewhat demanding, as you may have already learned for yourself.
We're willing to wait for diplomatic necessities to take place, as there is somewhat of a ceasefire at the moment. We are not willing to wait on the Klingon issue, as I've learned only recently they have brutalized another Romulan settlement.
Thatton's tail kind of twirls a bit, and he stills it after a while. Like, it's obvious he's agitated. Yes, well, as for the Klingons, I would ask you how do I put this? I would ask you to allow me to mediate between your Senator Kolick of the state and a Klingon representative to work out those specifics. The problem that I'm running into right now, to be honest with you, Lord Starix, is the Tripolity's involvement is escalating tensions on the Klingon side of the conversation. So my recommendation, though I can't order you, obviously, my recommendation is that you allow me to facilitate the talk between them, and the Tripolity observes. Not kicking you out of the room, I'm not saying you shouldn't be in the room, but I'm just saying it would make life easier for me, and I imagine for the Romulans, if this is a talk between them and not you and the Klingons. Because as of right now, my understanding is the Klingon Council has not recognized the Tripolity formally. So you're still considered a criminal element to them. And they haven't really opened diplomatic dialogue, which I think is a different conversation that I think should be had. I don't think us being on Cold War footing is really necessary, but I don't control the council, unfortunately.
Well, as a sign of my good intentions towards the Klingons, I have already started talks with Oda Joseph Gita in hopes to formalize relations with the Klingons. But I will tell you that I will not shy away from all diplomatic options in pursuing the end of the raids, even if those diplomatic options involve phasers and photon torpedoes. I am recently liberated from an ongoing conflict, which means if the Klingons do not stop, I may be forced to protect the Romulans they are killing.
And I'm willing, Lord Sarix, to communicate that particular political fact in a manner that I believe will satisfy Klingon honor, but still uphold tripolity interests, shall we say. I want a peaceful resolution to this, as much as anyone, because I imagine you're aware that there are issues going on in the Shackleton currently that I believe needs our attentions focused that way instead of at each other. And the quicker I can get the Klingons to realize that fact and focus on those matters, I think is better for all of us involved. But if you word it the way you just said it now, as just as the words may be, you must understand that the Klingons might rise to that as a challenge. Maybe not Martok, but his functionaries below him, those jockeying for his position.
You can phrase it as it needs to be phrased, but although I'd hoped we might share the same goals of the end of the violence, I will say that it will look incredibly poorly upon the Federation if you abandon your non-interference in the Romulan Civil War in achieving a partial solution.
And my presence and commission by at least my representative is the council's attempt to reach out a hand. It's not a fleet, it's not an open intervention, but it is a diplomatic shortcut that I think will speed things along rather than this whole matter getting mired in from one ambassador to one council to another and so forth. I think this can be sped along, and I'm hoping with my intervention that I can come to some sort of accord between at least the state and the Klingons. I just don't know if I can get a accord with the Klingons and the Tripolity. That's really the stumbling block I keep running into with Martok, honestly.
I will be present in the room, and so long as I think you are performing adequately, I will stay uninvolved. But without my support, it might be possible that the senator will look to the interests of her own people and not to the interest of all Romulans. And while I favor the state, it is the Romulan people that I favor more than their government.
Very well. I'll set up a meeting this week try to get a sit down between between the senator, yourself, and the chancellor. My bet is it's going to be tomorrow or the day after, since I'm understanding that the chancellor is on a rush to head back. And I think, honestly, we're all better served by getting the chancellor to agree to something rather than waiting for some high council representative to get things done. Aside from maybe House of Gitta, but I don't know. I haven't worked with them very much, so it's hard for me to gauge exactly how much of a fast track they are.
Although I have an interest in an alliance with them for their position within the Shackleton, they are the barbarous pirates who have most recently slain Romulans.
So they're probably in no rush to get things moved along. All right, so time to deal with Martok as soon as possible. I will get back to you. Should I contact you specifically, or should I contact some functionary of your government? I admit that our information on the Tripolity is
While
spotty.
I'm on the station, you will contact me.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Lord Sarex. He stands up.
I shake his hand. The possibility of achieving peace in 2 wars, that first rank into the flag ranks, isn't that far away.
Don't jinx me now, Sarex.
I will give him a bow and I will leave.
That not revealing the fact that every peace deal he's ever had has always fallen apart. Or someone shot at him.
It's only going to engulf the Shackleton in several more wars if he fails.
Yeah, no pressure or nothing. It's fine. Arlen.
Yes, sir.
What is Arlen up to on his leave time, if anything?
So,
what is he trying to do?
I kind of imagined, and that throughout the entire episode, you just see Arlen in the background and moving equipment and supplies and stuff, but the camera never focuses on him, so he's been there just in the background.
So he was working this whole time.
Are you telling me Arlen has been working?
I've been working on a personal project.
Okay, Lieutenant, define personal project.
Well, I'm going to need my husband for this one.
She has her hands on her hips, and you know.
I just have like a disassembled scaffolding on a graph sled. Well, I've been working on making a banquet for my husband to host. And us being us, I wanted to do this triple tier affair where you can casually walk from one level to the other, but kind of see what everyone else is doing.
So you're designing a room for the banquet to take place in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we requisitioned a hollow suite.
And you're not going to let the hollow suite digitally generate the room, but you want to make it on your own?
Yeah, it's more fun that way.
It is?
I mean, I think so. We were gonna hand out invites in about 2 days. We're still in the planning phase.
Okay.
The theme is going to be the life of stars.
The life of stars. That's sweet. That's sweet.
The top level is going to be a nebula. Then we're going to move into a main sequence star, and on the bottom level, there's going to be a supernova.
Oh, well, that sounds lovely. And now I feel bad for antagonizing you about it.
I didn't tell anyone because as we haven't quite set up yet, and we don't know exactly how many guests speaking have, but at least 100.
Oh, At least, I do not
Zeph
mean
is
to
totally
impose.
involved.
I do not mean to impose, but if you need anyone to make some star-themed treats for your meal or for your banquet, I happen to know quite a good chef.
Okay. I'll probably direct you to Yolan on that, but sure.
Oh, okay then. Carry on, Lieutenant.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm planning an elaborate banquet for my shore leave just for lulz. And
Excuse me.
because we're extra, we're making it extra.
Oh, control engineering or con difficulty 2 to go through the measure of setting it all up, getting everything put together. The station's helping you in a weird way because you're playing Legos with stuff instead of replicating. So it's going to be using its structure, but still, actually, it's pretty good for a station. Now that I think about it.
Is Zeft off medical leave? That's a good
Um,
question.
He wasn't on medical leave. He was just visiting his mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if he's
She works
available,
here. He's like, well, since I'm here, I can also say hi to mom. How's she doing? What did you do? I can see hyperspace now. What?
Yeah,
How?
what's the short if he
Why?
was released to full duty since the hyperspace thingy?
Well, you see, there were these glowing rocks.
Nah! FX has flashbacks. But yeah, Zeph,
Were they
you're
red
totally
or were they
helping me
blue?
on
Neither.
this. Take a threat, because we should totally need threat for a planned banquet. And
Yeah, I
focus.
can see nothing wrong with the gym having a bunch of threat when you put everyone in a ramshackle metal structure.
It's ramshackle? Ramshackle? I'm insulted.
Wow, I will have you know.
I mean, what's
Sorry.
worse gonna do? Have a food fight?
My God.
Waiting words.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, one threat. Focus and technical insight.
I wouldn't take it here. It's fairly basic stuff what you're doing.
All right. Tinkering. Trying to.
Tinkering, I would take.
Yes. All right.
It's control engineering.
Yep.
I mean, not that you need the help, but
No. I want him to help.
That way you can get a
fabrication,
complication.
structural engineering,
Structural
modeling
engineering
and
precisely
design.
would do it.
Okay. It's almost like this is his thing.
Yeah. Wait, we get to do big boy Legos? Awesome, let's build things.
Big
Yeah.
boy Legos.
It's
Yes.
like, you do realize you can replicate that? Yeah, but then we don't get to put it together. You can replicate the parts. I mean, yeah. But then we could source it. Sourcing stuff is fun too. What? Engineers, I don't understand.
Logistics is half the fun. And half the battle.
Look, it's a self-sitting stem bolt from 3 years ago. Do you know how incompatible that is with stuff now? No,
Well,
exactly.
that's
I
just
don't either. Fun.
Let's
Oh,
find
that means-
out.
No.
That means we have to plan a workaround. Yes.
It's like, or you could just replicate the part to order. Yeah, but what's the fun in that? Yeah, no, you guys get a lot of
Yeah, but
momentum.
then you don't get to go down to the machine shop.
So those two play with their large Legos to set up a banquet because, well, they're making Yola do all the cooking as usual, which is wise because Yolan's decent at cooking.
Yeah, Yolan probably volunteered for the cooking.
Asa would like to I don't even know I don't think she's met Yolan before, but Asa would like to offer her services as a chef to Yolan, because she both likes cooking and knows how cooking for 100 people could be a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh, cooking for 100. No, we need to cook for 200. That way people have seconds.
No. Oh, okay.
Denobulan thinking.
Yes.
Well, what if
What
someone
if
comes
people
with
bring
their
their
plus one?
families?
Maybe we should make 250.
That
Yeah, that way there's extras.
that would be a problem with Denobulan like planning, is that you never know how many family connections are going to get pulled into this event. Like, does it start at your first husband, or do they invite the husband? Does he invite his wife? Does she invite her husband?
Oh, and all the
Yeah.
kids. I mean, they want to come along.
There probably has to be like a little symbol on the card that says like a limit of 4 links before.
Separation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 degrees
Yeah.
of family separation.
You want to get, 3 of your old college buddies together to, go out partying, and suddenly there are 85 people in this room, and it's a family get together for half of them.
One second. Had a cough that just did not want to go away. Let's do, because this is Yolan.
Zeth and Yolan are not related, correct? Did we ever figure that out?
Zeft and Yolan? That depends if Yolan's. I don't know. I don't think we've ever established one with the other.
I haven't decided one way or another. If that is
Okay.
something interesting, we could. But
Like, I
But
assume
I'm-
it would be a decent amount of separation, but it's possible.
yeah, I haven't looked anything into Yolan's side of the family, mainly because, oh my god, Noblian family trees scare me.
Yeah, I know.
I will take control or daring plus con, science, or medicine, difficulty of 3. Largely because the way one cooks can be done in a variety of ways. It would be diff 2, but Yolan's making this Denobulan level of banquet, so it's not just cooking. It is cooking for way too many people. It's basically cooking the level of cooking for a brigade with with the 2 of you. It's like you can do it. Most people don't, but Denobulans like doing that. Well, some Denobulans do.
Yeah. Ace is having like a real, like, back in my day, we went up the hill both ways, because she remembers when food for 50 people had to feed 250 people, not the other way around. I presume a focus in cooking applies.
Yes.
Aw.
All right. Difficulty 3. So 1 threat, 2 momentum.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, between you and Yolan, there's a lot of, because Yolan, you start learning very quickly that Yolan is very ambitious, which is a nice way of saying doesn't know when to stop. It's like, because not only is Yolan trying to make a nice food banquet for that in a Denobulan style, but being from the Achilles and working and inviting Achilles people, there's a variety of species. The United Federation of Planets is represented by over 100 member worlds with various
I think
species,
the count
and he's
is
trying to
175
represent
by now.
175. So it's like, oh, I want to make sure I accommodate all of them. There's a certain level of look. That's Asia just has to interject and kind of go,
We're
look.
not putting birdseed in the Hasperod. No, we're not doing that. I don't care how much you think it's a good idea. We're not doing that.
What if we put birdseed in some of the Hasperod? Well, then we have to mark the ones with Hasperod and not Hasperod. With birdseed, without birdseed.
Okay.
What if we do birdseed ice cubes? Then you can put it on in the Hasperod. Like, really, like, it's ambitious, but also it's like, you're not used to cooking.
We can do half of your good ideas. How about that? Is that a fair compromise?
And it's a lot of that. You learn. It's one thing from another. It's not that the one's bad. It's just that it's one of those. You get the feeling that when he normally cooks big meals, there's a good 1/4 of the meal that basically gets trashed just because it's
lost in the process.
It's lost in the process, or Arlen goes, "Oh no, it's good, honey. Really, I'll eat it all. No, it's fine, really." Oh God, why'd you put that on? Why do you have live gawked with spring wine? That does not go well. It's sweet worms. No. I mean, no, it's great, hon. Thanks.
It's
You
spring
want
gawk.
seconds? No, please stop.
Springcock.
Well, why did you put beef gravy on these Denobulan treats?
I want them to be savory. I mean, they are, but they're sweets. They're not supposed to be savory. I'm trying a
my
new
God.
thing. Please don't. A lot of that.
Why do you have a feeling
And
that
most
Arlen
Denobulans
and
will eat just about anything at least once. So
Yeah, it's not like
why do you
he's gonna
feeling
get
that
put.
Arlen and Yolan enable each other to be creative in the worst possible way?
Did you know?
You know what? From my I'm not a therapist perspective, and from Aza's I'm a fictional therapist perspective, this sounds like an actually healthy relationship, assuming you occasionally feel each other in.
Occasionally.
But yeah, you do have one float. I don't know if you want to establish any sort of advantage.
We're going to establish.
It was-
I meant to do this. All right. Can I establish one advantage that the food is really good, and then another advantage that we have such a wide variety of food? We have like a real. Oh God, I forget the fancy French term for a big amount of food. That we have like so much variety of food that like everyone can be happy, no matter
Yeah.
what allergy or preference.
like it's super accommodating, like
Mhm.
sort of what Yolan was going for, but within reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, at some point we have to stop, but we can accommodate everybody. But there's two of us, so keep that in mind. But yeah, no, you're able to put together quite the smorgasbord, I believe. Anyway, that's not quite right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder if I can program the holodeck to display the dietary options as the people are looking over or the food. Like, this one's vegan, this one
Oh, like a HUD
and has
display.
a HUD display of the food that kind of like very gently says what this food is and kind of what the dietary restrictions are.
I'll look to Captain Pend, who finally has managed to get out from under, has finally been freed of his diplomatic obligations, even though he spent a favor getting some commission on that. But oh well.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for a fatten to balls it up.
Give him time. He's my character, and he was my character, and I'm still worried for it. But anyway, everything's fine. Don't worry. So Pend, what is Pend up to at present? You will be updated by this point about what your various staff have been up to, because you would have been kept in the loop by your assistants about what's going on, because your XO's not around. So you have various other lieutenants and ensigns who are on light duties, which is to say they're just keeping tabs on people and informing you where people are in case you need to call everyone back.
That being the case, one of two things Penn wanted to do is he did want to set some of the stuff up that Jaishu requested, and yeah, he can do that while he's getting a physical in medbay. Multitask paperwork and making sure he's fine after his recent engagement.
wow, that's some real growth, Pin.
I mean, there's only so many times you can pretty much kill a pen before he goes, right, I need to see if everything's still working properly.
Do you go to your medbay or you go see Efrix?
Oh, I'll go see Efrix, I'm on the station.
Let's get some of your wedding planning out of the way. Well, your
Yeah.
not even the wedding planning, but the whatchamacallit, the interview essay that you have to assemble. Actually, I was gonna say control, but control or reason plus con difficulty 3 to just wrap your head around Orion marriage rites and rituals and what's expected, and how to translate your stuff from Andoria to what Orions would understand, which thankfully isn't that big a jump because those species have run into each other a few times, so it's not quite that detached from each other. But it is a level of that's not something you have to do in your day-to-day life.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to spend my Starfleet Exploration Division decoration to reduce this con task by 1 to a minimum of 1. Now to go through traits. Yay! Tried and tested? Probably not.
No, not yet anyway.
Tiger? Probably not. Commanding presence? Probably not. Head of Clan Shishra?
That would help.
Focus and composure?
I take it because this is it's really important you get this right.
And I'll spend a momentum. I'll just spend 2 to squash.
You start to learn it's a lot of trying to impress upon the patriarch or matriarch that you are a good addition to the family. And the one thing you really made sure to a common pitfall is that a lot of people think when they think Orions, they think Syndicate. It's like, no, the Orion Syndicate is a criminal organization. The Orion people are separate from that. It's like, oh, so should I be talking about how many slaves I own and stuff? Like, no. You're not trying to impress a Syndicate leader. You're impressing a merchant, a merchant family, or a crafting family, or something like that. You're trying to add to their. It's a lot of trying to make sure, especially with older fashion family like hers, that you're trying to add to the, if not the wealth of the house, of their family, of their clan, then to either their wealth, their prestige, and you're not an unworthy person, so a criminal, a traitor, and actually one thing you learned, a slaver, because they're not huge on slavery outside of the forms that the Orions approve of, and even then they're not a slaving family, so they kind of like, yeah, we'd rather you weren't attached to that because we don't want to be in that business. Which that's not a problem for Penn, but it's a thing you didn't want to. It's the sort of pitfall where you're like, oh, I don't slave, by the way. It's like you wouldn't bring that up because you would be implying something. So there's other things you can bring up, like your career, how good your house is. It is a military background, so there's some prestige there. Even if Aslan recently kind of tarnished it, it's just your name doesn't mean something. So you have a few things going in your way, going in your direction. And the Section 31 stuff, just don't bring it up. It's a lot of, if it's bad for you, just don't bring it up. If they bring it up, then yeah, you'll have to talk about it. But if you don't say anything, because you're supposed to be selling them on why you're a good addition, why you should join the family. Because that's the way they're seeing it. You're joining them, not them joining you.
I mean, whatever makes them happy.
Yeah. And it's not like the Klingons where you have to have a battle of honor or anything like that. No starving yourself or nothing. Oh, and bring gifts. Bring many, many gifts.
Oh, yay.
But after that, you have a visit to a certain medical bay, which actually I have a reason to pull up this particular graphic. If I can get to you. Boop. Oops, wrong layer. No, this layer. Thank you. There we go. Wrong one. This one. There we go. So you're making your way to one of the many medical bays in the station hospital.
It's about time I have a checkup.
Oops, too small. A little bigger. There we go. Doctor. Did we decide what Efrix's rank was
I think
in the changeover?
she
She's commander by now.
Yeah, I
after a
think
few
she got
years.
promoted.
You're at least commander. I know that much.
Yeah. And like chief of medical of the fleet. Like
So yeah. Penn, you head over to the medical bay. There's some people coming and going and doing stuff here, but it's not. They're not pressed here. This is one of the this is the primary ward, which is the one that Efrix personally oversees, because Efrix has a small, her own starship worth of like doctors, because she runs a hospital.
Oh,
And Efrix gets to see an old friend.
well,
Or enemy,
That's
depends how you
a
look at it.
friend is a strong word. Acquaintance.
wow.
No, she gets to see an acquaintance.
You don't think we were friends?
I don't know. That's up to Efrix.
Y'all spent like years serving.
But no, I'll head up to the door and just knock on it, even though it's open.
She's probably like looking at a screen. It may not mean much to Pinned, but it's like a it's kind of like a 3D CT like image of a brain.
I have 2 in medicine.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not a complete idiot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't know that you know what Zeph's brain looks like, but it's a scan of Zeph's brain.
Well, I don't think you'd be able to differentiate between everyone's brains.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Says you.
Would she look up when you knock? Oh, hello, Captain.
Hello, Commander. It seems you're fitting the big chair quite nicely.
Well, there's certainly a lot more space. Can't even imagine compared to the Achilles. Well, wait, I can. I flew it.
It's not that bad of a ship.
I didn't say it was.
Mm-hmm.
Are you injured?
Recently, yes, so I'm kind of here for a checkup.
The grin that she had, like, because she was kind of teasing you about being injured, kind of fades a little bit. Okay. We can certainly take a look.
I mean, generally it was mainly heart injuries, so, just gotta take precautions, especially now that I'm engaged in sending stuff off now.
Really?
Yeah, Jai, she works with the Admiralty section.
I probably know who she is, right?
Probably.
She was around for Tiger Squadron at the tail end. She didn't do a whole lot, but
Well, plus she's worked on the station primarily for the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah, you have crossed paths with her definitely. She's part of that gaggle of command officers that are around Grennan all the time, or she was until recently.
So,
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So apparently I need to make sure I'm in tip-top shape.
Well, if you need any help, I have been married twice, and there may be another one in the future.
I'm flattered, but I only go for one.
Captain, no.
Oh, I said I've had heart injuries, but you wound me.
Let's take a look at the ticker and see how it's doing.
Sure, I'm heading left or right.
Is one more empty than the other?
It becomes empty if the if the administrator of the hospital says it is.
Oh, I don't want that. I just like, is there one that has fewer people than the other?
Not really. It's mainly just
Okay.
medical people doing like quick checkups and stuff. So if you come in, they might go, "Oh, okay, well,
Okay.
pick a bed," basically, and they'll be like, "Hey, move over here, my friend. Like, oh, you're not injured. You can just sit over here quickly." Like, oh, okay, people doing bits of research here or there.
Mm-hmm.
The occasional bit of crystal that someone's examining.
Let's go right then, I guess.
Okay,
You should be able to move your token around.
I'm just gonna jump on this bed.
Aha. No, that's what the Horda was. No. You fell into my trap. Waha.
But long story short, there was an incident on the recent diplomatic mission, and I ended up getting stabbed through the heart, revived by the counsellor, so good job, counsellor. Then trying to fight off a tentacle monster whilst someone else tried to blow up my heart with his mind, and carry someone else through a ruined city immediately after that. So, bit of stress on the heart.
Sounds like it.
You know, just everyday stuff.
I was gonna say, sounds like a typical mission, but I've never found when you all get hurt, so let's take a look. And the counselor, that's Lieutenant Commander Asa?
Correct. She's a recent assignee to the ship. She's been helping out with the cadets and people with some issues from previous missions, so she's been doing
Listen,
well.
just because you're rolling for me doesn't mean that you have to roll like me.
It's fine. Carry on. You're scanning. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
So, yeah, she's been quite helpful, and my newest chief of medicine, Dr. Caval, not interacted with her too much. She's seems like a private person, so I'm trying to give her time to get used to my charms.
Well, I'm glad they're working out okay. Yes, I've had some interactions with Lieutenant Caval. She's intense.
That she is, but she is competent, which is the thing that I want most from my medical officers.
Well, I'd hardly allow you to fly off into danger with anything less.
Well, I do have a
From
habit
medical,
of
anyway.
working with competent officers before I became a captain, so it's kind of the minimum standard. Just don't tell Grennan that. Imagine how gleeful he would be.
Yes, it would indeed be high praise from you, and he'd probably dance.
So,
Or maybe skip.
oh yeah, that would be an interesting sight to see. So, how's the old ticker looking, or how am I doing in general? Oh,
I don't know how to tell you this, Ped, but you're missing a leg.
how did that happen? It was there 5 minutes ago.
Oh wait, I've got messages. Sorry.
I walk into the medical facilities and lose limbs.
I'd rather lose a limb, in a hospital than lose a limb outside of a hospital.
Well, that's how I lost it, though.
I'm sorry. Excuse you?
So this is going to be how you tried to kill me?
Who's saying about trying?
So Everett makes the joke about your leg, and then looks at her scans, and then like kind of furrows her brow, and then she like does a couple of double checks, and like reads the readout again, and looks at you.
Everything okay there?
Well, for one thing, you're missing a leg, but you might not always be missing a leg.
Well, I wasn't always missing one, so I'm not
No,
quite
no, I
following.
mean in the future.
Okay.
The tissue's regenerating. You'll probably reject the implant soon. We may have to refit you.
I understand medicine to a degree, but as far as I remembered, Tellarites don't regenerate limbs. Like that's just my education. I may be completely wrong here, Doctor.
Yeah, no, you're not. Does it seem like the regenerated tissue? Does it seem like organic?
I'll take a momentum for that.
Sure. This is the captain. I feel like everybody else would agree, but if this isn't their doctor. Okay. Mm-hmm.
You sound so happy with these answers.
Well, I mean, that's better, I think. Captain, have you been reality jumping?
Define reality jumping, because yes, in multiple ways.
I mean, I know we've been to other quantum realities before, but have you been recently?
Well, recently we kind of got thrown out of the galaxy, did like a weird hyperspace jump back. I then, on a different thing, I touched a stone and apparently spoke with beings in hyperspace or above hyperspace. Inconclusive. So,
Oh,
kind
this.
of?
So the things that allowed Zeph to see hyperspace. All right. Well, that explains a bit.
I mean, I also kind of got ejected into a different timeline, then came back. So, pick one.
When you were stabbed through the heart, was it in this reality?
Yeah, it was on Alcara. I was fighting an Iconian.
Does the stuff going on with his heart look like it could be similar technology to what's going on with his leg?
That's another momentum.
Yeah, okay.
Penn is having a medical exam, Thrall.
Yes, he is. So, and what we've found out so far is not only is Pend immortal, he now regenerates. He's basically Doctor Who. Or a starfish. Either way.
Thank you, spell checker. I had no idea how to type out that word, and it doesn't either.
Love it.
Oh, when you spell a word so incorrectly, it's like, I can't help you here, bud.
It doesn't help with all the science fiction Star Trek jargon you're presumably throwing at it.
I was trying to type out regenerative, but I was typing it just wrong enough that I was guessing every other word but regenerative. Like, no,
Makes
regenerative's
sense.
a word. It's a real thing.
I mean, it's unless you spell it on a regular basis, that's a word that's like, how do you spell that?
That's your answer, Doctor.
Ugh. Other than that, the heart looks healthy though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the least surprising thing. Good news is your heart looks healthy. It looks great,
Fantastic.
except that you seem to have a, a passenger. I
Come again?
well, um, there seems to be a small. Well, of course it's small. It would have to be. Um, there's a nanomachine plexus intrusion attached to your heart. Currently, it's not doing anything. It seems to be dormant. But from the looks of this readout, it has the capacity to generate a lot of nanomachines.
Can
There's
you
already some active, not many, but a few. They're not doing anything, but they're there.
can you tell how long it's been there?
For a
good
threat, I'll
question.
answer that.
Sure.
Actually, let me give you I can give you a somewhat more accurate answer than that.
I've got a nanobot generating device attached to my heart.
And you just have like a couple little friends just chilling.
When the
Like
fuck did that get there?
in one of the chambers of your heart. They're just there. They're not doing anything, but
I honestly can't even figure out how that would have got there.
the only thing I can think of is if it was like on the knife.
He stabbed me with a healing machine?
Yeah. Unless it somehow got into your bloodstream some other way and then just followed the pathway and then attached itself. What's the current start date?
Current start date is 60381.1.
Oh. Okay, to explain that, I think I might have to explain one of my other findings.
Other findings? What the shit is going on? I'm not coming back here.
Remember how I asked you if you had been quantum reality jumping?
Yeah?
At some point, you are not the Pind that was originally the Pind of this universe.
Okay.
There's tests we can run to figure out maybe when that happened, but
We probably should, because if I'm a alternate pen, that means your pen's probably out there somewhere.
depending on how long you've been here, despite the fact that you may not be the Pind of this quantum reality, you may basically be pinned. Depends. Ha.
Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, the nano machine has been there for a while. Looks like it was planted somewhere around 60228. Somewhere between that and 60235.
So around when we were on Alcara?
Hmm. Well, I don't know your logs. Maybe.
Yeah, that would have to been Alcaran time. Yeah. So at some point upon going to the Alcaran system, I either had my quantum signature changed, and a nanomachine attached to me, or something else has happened.
It also appears that your leg regeneration might be thanks to the Alcarans or the Aldemona. the only other entity that uses the kind of technology that seems to be working on your leg is the Borg.
Oh Jesus! Now he's rolling dice.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. It's for this is someone else's problem.
Sorry, counselor. I didn't mean to traumatize your captain.
No, he's
No,
fine.
just don't worry. I need to have a job somehow. You guys have to do this stuff, or else I'm out of a gig.
Can we reach out to the Alcaran and Aldemona ships outside and see if they have an answer?
Well, I'm not super up to date to stuff, but assuming I understood Brennan's ramblings at all, I think they like you best.
Jesus.
I'm happy to try and reach out and speak with their medical team, see if I can get an answer.
I can give you a hand. It's probably best if we don't make this super common knowledge right now.
To them, or
No, to our lot. Like, maybe
Oh,
the
you're-
Admiral needs to know, but apart from that, it's like, we don't know what's happening.
we should probably tell your doctor, but beyond that, your medical records are yours.
TM,
Yeah.
is there a point within everything that happened in the Alcaran system where any of this would add up?
You have a range. Beyond that, geez, I would have to throw an insight plus medicinal difficulty of 5 to kind of take a shot in the dark at it.
Well, I'll fucking
You might
try.
you might be able to puzzle it out, but you're shooting in the dark here a little.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
You're just shooting in the relatively correct direction, so you actually have a roll.
I'll spend a medal to double my crit range, so I've got a 4. Focus and mental prowess.
I'd take it, given the amount of time that's passed.
Go back into your mind palace.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll 6 challenge dice. Yeah, 6.
Comp range will go up by 3, so comp of 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. I'm right.
Okay, time to go through the traits. Here's a weird one. Trait of nanite tactics.
Yep. Do you want complication or difficulty to go down?
Take the comp down. Tried and tested?
I wouldn't say so. I don't know Pend as a medical veteran.
Tiger and Narendra?
Not this time, but the next time this happens, I'd take it.
Commanding presence?
You command yourself to know things. No.
Yeah.
I command the nanobots to tell me.
Answer me or I'll punch. I'll go in there
Yeah.
and I'll give you such a punch.
Hoplite?
Don't make me have a heart attack.
Hoplite. Yes, difficulty or comp.
Bring the comp down. And I'll use my last one, which I spelt incorrectly because I'm a dum-dum. Quantum Specialist.
Only because you misspelled it. No. But in actuality, no, because you're thinking you're trying to time when a certain event happened. So It's not quite a
Oh,
quantum issue.
She
yet.
also said the quantum signature was off.
No, okay, I'll take it. Comp or diff?
I'll take a diff. Okay, I think I'm going to spend a determination. Directive?
Which one?
Well, I don't think keeping the peace or reducing tension is going to kick in. But to take shore leave? I'm trying to make sure I'm fit for shore leave.
I'll take it, yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't think it said take it.
Oh, that's fine.
And I'll reroll 3.
Oh,
Another comp from Efrix.
gosh darn it!
Comp range is 2.
How is that even possible?
Oh, it's only 2. Never mind. You're right.
Okay, give me a minute.
But yeah, Efrix isn't able to help. This is because Efrix has done as much as she could to narrow the range to what she did.
Oh wait, 2 of those are crits. They're double my crit range.
Well, that's true.
So that's 2, 4, 5.
1,
So
2, 3,
that's we gain 1, and I'll spend a medal to squash.
So there's still 2. Oh wait, there was 2 comps on the board. You squashed one of them.
Oh no, I re-rolled the 3 with the.
Oh, I follow you. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's just the last one which is squash.
So yeah, the event you narrowed down to is when you got stabbed. Like that, like because you don't know what the weapon type was. You do know that that Iconian technology, and well, you already know you have a sample of Iconian technology on your ship. Like it is very advanced. It can do very strange things to you. So that would be the inciting incident, or it also could be when you were walking through the machine city on Alcara. But I believe the timeline for that doesn't work because I think the timeline that the doctor gave you is after you were in the machine city, not during.
Yeah, it would have been inside.
So the only time your heart would have interacted with something like that would be when you were, because you never went to the machine city after that. I don't think anyone did after the initial encounter.
No, I intended to, but we ended up needing to.
Yeah.
Well, my calculations, all happened when I got stabbed. So I need to find out from the Alcarans and Aldemona if they have swords that can implant nano devices and change quantum signatures.
Those may not be linked, but
Oh, we're gonna have to find out at some stage.
it's definitely a change in you since the last time you had a physical.
I'm not coming back here. You only give me weird news.
On the bright side, your leg is going to kind of regrow itself and be kind of a hybrid nano-organic implant. So it should fit perfectly, no irritation.
Would that technically make me part cyborg?
You already are part cyborg.
No, I mean, but like different type of cyborg, not
A bioorg, I suppose.
yeah, like a bioengineered.
Someone made of both organic and organic material?
So
Pretty sure
not quite a
Biborg's
cyborg,
different
but
name.
maybe something shorter, like Borg. That sounds catchy.
Well, Borg's just short for cyborg, really.
But yeah.
Like you're
If it starts getting a golden or silver tinge, talk to a doctor.
Like you're still a band, but you're a little bit cyber.
So I should be worried around if I start shooting beams out of my hand then?
But I mean, as a general rule, yes.
Yeah, it's just a weird one that I come into the med bay to get a checkup, and you've now informed me I'm both immortal and can regenerate. So thank you for the ego boost.
I don't believe I told you you were immortal.
Your medical reports are proving it.
And new scene. On that bit of exchange, as we looked at, whoa, that's not what I wanted. Well, I'm here now. Is this the one I want, or is it this one? It's this one.
Hey, can you stop killing me in weird ways?
I can't kill you
No.
in normal ways. I have to do it in the weird ways.
So Pend was punched so hard he left the universe and fell into another one. Is that what we're saying?
Or at least stabbed so hard.
Eventually. Nuts. I'll be back. Hold on. I just kicked myself out of my own game. So what happens when you have multiple Roll20 resources? I'm pulling from a different game at the same time. So I'm like, well.
Nope, I've done it. Yep.
So, on the planet of Tweeka, you look to Thralic and Shishashrir. Or I'll just say Asala. Do we have a Thralic?
We do.
Well, you learn. So quick map recall. Well, brief rather. This is the low port where shuttles come and go, and it's the sister to the high port, the station above. Well, other than the capital city, but there's the non-Tweeka people who come down to here. But if they were Tweekans, they would go to their city. There's little campground sites like more of these buildings are a lot more for keeping an eye out on, like they're the ranger sites, you know what I mean, or they're a place you can run for help or something like that. And as you descend down to the river, there is a sort of bridge settlement that has been, for people who don't want to beam over or shuttle over, there's actually like a bridge that was built over the years. Partially for just the challenge of it, and also sometimes you don't need to beam things everywhere. Sometimes a grav sled does the job just fine. There is a power station up this way. It has a nuclear symbol there, but that's just me symbolizing it's a power station. Gotcha. And that powers everything on this continent, basically.
I see you're in the pocket of big nuclear.
But there is one thing that you learn from some of your fellow campground people is that the reason for the lockdown around the city is there seems to be an ongoing conflict between some Romulan visitors and some Klingon visitors that is brewing outside the gates of the Tweekan city. And the Tweekans, rather than calling for help or anything, have just decided to let the visitors work it out for themselves. They're observing, apparently, but they're not doing anything, which means a lot of campers who would be going near the city or into the city are like, we're gonna stay on this side of the river. we're not going anywhere over there, or we're gonna go up this way. Like, we're staying well away from this mess. And the clock there is symbolizing how the level of tension, and it's counting down. If it ever gets to 0, things might escalate to the point where open violence is occurring.
Okay, but how big are these groups?
Let me give you a range. 1 second. Boop and boop. 1 second. Approximately 100 Klingons and approximately 100 Romulans.
Like sizable chunk of them here. Any indication of why they are on this planet?
You're just hearing rumors from other campers, like that you're just overhearing this. So you can ask around, but they don't know. No one's stated the specifics.
Here I go, going back to work. Yeah, I'll ask around. I've
Cousins,
got a security brain.
security difficulty of 3 would be diff 2, but you're dealing with civilians giving you secondhand information, and you might find someone who actually was there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There's like maybe one other Starfleet person who's on leave right now, and they're like, yeah, I'm not. Well, I'll ask around since you're asking around.
Mm-hmm. Trait of Hoplite Commander.
Diff down to 2.
All right. Trait of Relentless. Look, here's what I need to know. And you said you were there. What can you remember?
Diff 1, but I'll up the comp range by 1 by
Yeah, that's fair. Look, no, this isn't an interrogation. What do you mean?
What are you, Starfleet or something? Yes.
Yes.
What if I said no?
Well, then I just have to go ask a different citizen. Let's see. Focus in team dynamics, actually.
How so?
I'm trying to treat the various civilians here as like kind of intel assets. When I say it like that, it sounds like that.
You could, yeah.
Right.
Trust me,
might have something
citizen.
else
I'm
that
with the
works better.
government. You can I'll totally be of help.
Yeah. I could also use observation as a focus here, perhaps. More listening to what they have to say.
What was that again? Sorry.
Observation. Piecing the things together and seeing what people have to say.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, let's roll 2 here. There we go.
It was. It started about a week ago. It was starting to build up, but the tensions have only been really heightening in the last 5 days.
Okay.
So for the first 2 days, it was just kind of burning into something, and then over the last 5 days, it's just been cranking up in intensity. And I'll note this is probably on the last day before you need to get back to the shuttle and start heading back. Because you probably were out mountaineering for a while, and then you came back to camp and said base camp was all right. Well, time to clean up.
Yeah.
Get ready to head back to the low port. And it's like, oh, this is going on. Oh, okay. Well, I'll ask around since I'm here.
And Beacons didn't ask for help. Yes, they just threw up their shields. Yeah, what's protocol here actually?
I'll make that a roll, honestly.
Yeah.
Insight plus command or con. It's command because it's Starfleet stuff. Difficulty of 2. See if you have the advantage of being familiar with this particular fragment of Federation law and Starfleet regulation.
Strategy and tactics.
I would take that. Yeah.
I'll take a threat. And hoplite commander here, since I'm thinking about like intervention potentially.
Yeah, diff 1. I'll spend up the comp though in exchange.
Yep.
So the primary line of law enforcement is the local populace and local law enforcement. So this is a Tweakin world who are a member of the Federation, and various Federation citizens are here. So they're like, the camp has like its camp rangers, and they're kind of their law enforcement to a degree of conservation and stuff. The lower port would have its own little. Given this planet's fairly decentralized. So each of these little mini settlements would have their own little law enforcement, and then there would be the highest authority here would always go to the Tweakins. Starfleet security can offer to help, but if the local government tells them to go away, unless it's a existential threat or of strategic interest, Starfleet security is not supposed to be interfering in the affairs of member worlds, unless the government itself is violating the law. At which point, it's like, well, we have to stop you.
Yeah. All right.
So you can leave it to them, and just this is technically their problem, but you can offer to help. And I will tell you, as from a hoplite commander point of view, generally, if they didn't ask for help in the first place, usually one has to convince the local authorities that your help was useful. Because some people have a very skewed view of how Starfleet works, because they don't work in Starfleet. They see Starfleet once in a grand while, especially a world like this that's usually fairly peaceful.
Yeah.
Like, Starfleet vessels are, hey, look, a ship that's near that station. Oh, it went away. Okay. Well.
Oh, there's some people down on leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll call in. But I won't push too hard on it if I meet resistance. Like, I'll offer assistance, but
What's your reputation?
reputation is 11. I think. Yeah, it's 11.
So rep up 4.
Rep of 4, yeah. Sorry. Thinking about rep roll.
Sorry, I swallowed some pepper. Pardon me, sorry. Let me get you a name. In theory, where'd it go? Eventually, as you are able to get in contact with one Governor Nakata of the Tweeka, and one of the rangers kind of lets you know that the governor's on the line with you, and they let you use one of their offices to speak with them on one of their screens, which is not one of the big, nice screens that you have on your starship. It's like one of the old, like
Mhm.
TOS TNG era, like that movie era is a better way to put it. So it's like it's kind of flat, but it's kind of chunky, but it's a screen
Yeah.
and it works. So
Hmm.
and the governor's on screen. They're dressed in they look somewhat militant in their attire. It does look sort of like a unit, like a military uniform of some kind. But you can see there's this more civilian, like softer sash across their chest that indicates their rank in their society. No, you don't see any weapons on them. But you do recognize that that is the governor of the planetary governor, who is in command, who mainly commands, well, it commands the planet, but also it directs, is also responsible for the space station. You are Commander Throlik, yes?
Yes, Commander Throlik of the U.S.S. Achilles. I was here on leave and heard some rumors around about the brewing situation.
Well, given I've had some of my aides look into your starship, and I think I'll take the most of your offer, and I put in a request for the U.S.S. Achilles to attend to this matter post haste. Thank you for letting me know you're here, and I've learned that the Achilles doesn't have any current mission orders, so I look forward to seeing speedy efforts and great success by you and your crew.
Well, Governor, my ship isn't here at the moment. As I said, I was here on vacation. I'm willing to attempt to mediate, but the Achilles itself is currently undergoing ship repair
Oh,
at Narendra Station.
don't worry about that. Your shuttles aren't under repair, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Well, I do think I want a bit of extra support, and I mean, this situation may escalate rather drastically, and I'd rather have some number of Starfleet personnel. Besides, your lack of your main cruiser may be of assistance to our efforts. Wouldn't you agree, Commander?
Kind of, I'll just kind of shrug slightly and say, without a dedicated command ship, there's less overall risk of raising tension due to a perceived high amount of intervention. However, it would take around 2 days for shuttle to arrive here from Narendra.
Well, speed up whatever silly nonsense your ship is doing then. We're in danger here. You offered to help, and I'm taking it. You just sort out whatever it is you Starfleet need to sort out and help us, darn it. I'll send a copy of your orders before the day's out. Good day, Commander. And he cuts comms. The Ranger's sitting next to you because they were kind of waiting in the room because it's their office, and they're kind of like, well,
Kind of look over at the Ranger, extremely puzzled.
Tweakins were very eager to join the Federation because of our Star Navy, as they called it. So,
All right.
Yeah. Didn't think I needed to
That
warn
man
you.
understands how a starship works.
They understand how their starship works.
Of course. Well, if you don't mind, I have to make some calls now.
You hear a whir beep noise happen behind you, and the ranger kind of reaches over into a drawer and pulls out from a. It looks like one of those old. It looks like a food. Not replicator. What was it? What were they called?
Synthesizer.
Synthesizer. So you
Okay.
see a pad's been a clipboard style pad has been synthesized into being, and they walk over and hand you the pad.
Thank you.
And you see it has a big fancy emblem for the governor and has very formal language, formally requesting the assistance on behalf of the planet of Tweeka that they are in distress and require Starfleet intervention. And the planetary governor has specifically requisitioned the aid of the U.S.S. Achilles upon this date, etc., 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 with all due haste, etc., etc., etc.
All right. I'm going to try and get a subspace communication to either Pend, or if Pend's not available, I would have tried for Brennan. But
Well,
yeah,
probably
I'll try.
Lesix.
Or Lesix, yeah.
Whoops, wrong room. Try again. This way. I was right the second time. New scene. Last scene. Commander Lesix just stares at the communique. Oh, what now? Office in the back. And they go, yes, sir. And he steps back. Sees Kaval in there. Doctor, hello. You don't have to get up. This call might involve you here in about 5 minutes.
Which doctor are you talking to? Sorry.
Dr. Kaval.
Okay.
Like free office in the part right now.
And you see Threllick appear on screen. And somewhat lower def than you're used to seeing, because, again...
Also not in uniform, just like dressed in some like silver civilian clothes.
with a bit of pseudo-rustic frontier decor behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you have like a comical, I'm picturing like a very large sombrero or cowboy hat on or something silly?
No. No,
Oh, come on, they
definitely
have
not.
it in the gift shop. Support local economy.
Most hats don't work so well with antenna.
They can adjust for that. They put little holes in it.
Then you have to fit it through, and then if it gets dislodged, it's really bad. Anyway.
Considering how sensitive antenna are, no.
Yeah, really.
It just sounds all sorts of uncomfortable.
It's like wearing fingerless gloves, except they're on your head.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put little tubes on top of the hat.
Okay. That's like wearing a blindfold as a hat. Commander.
Commander?
I'm calling in to update. So I offered my assistance to
What?
the governor of the Tweakins here due to a situation with some Klingon and Romulans outside their central settlement. I was anticipating that to be personal mediation, but the governor has turned that into unexpectedly a request to the Achilles in its entirety for assistance.
Please tell me you
I
don't
have
have orders in your
explained-
hand already.
Looks down. Is that what I have right now?
Yeah,
Jim?
it is.
Yeah.
That guy
I do
worked
care.
quick.
Okay, I won't tell you.
Looks down. Back up. Sorry, Commander.
God. Stand by, Commander. I'll get your captain here. Just
course.
wait there. Commander Lesix to Captain Pend, please report to Operation Briefing Room, please.
This is Captain Penn, currently busy. I trust you to do the right thing.
Very well, Captain.
Medical issue. Just leave it at that.
He cuts the comm.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh.
Commander. You just canceled the leave of your ship. Thank you very much. I enjoy getting yelled at by your counselor again. But you can talk to her next time. This is your problem. I'll get back to you when your ship's there. Just...
Commander, one thing. Looking over these
not
orders...
please no. Go on,
well, it might
Commander.
be a positive. It doesn't appear the governor has much idea how a starship operates, and I did inform him that the ship is currently undergoing repairs. I might be able to do with 2 runabouts and some hoplites. Let me look over the details of these orders.
All right, well... For now, I have to send the orders over subspace. I'll process them, because now that you have them, that means we need to have them.
Plug the pad in or whatever.
As you struggle to find where the interface plug is, and you're like, oh, there it is. Plug this wire into here, because wireless isn't a thing. Because, of course not. Tap, 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 tap. Hey, that legacy course you have to take in Starfleet Academy is paying off. We'll never need to use those old pads ever again. Oh,
is this one of those old hand crank ink pads where you had to spin it really fast and connect it to the nearest operator?
No, that's the NX era.
Yeah.
That's pre-Archer, actually. The first human colony ships. What's that? Wind up wireless. Anyway.
Enough power to get to the remainder of the colony ships in orbit as a subspace communications satellite.
But yeah. Thralic, you can attempt a control plus command difficult. Actually, reason. Sorry, it'd be reason, not control. Reason plus command difficulty of 3. Complication of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
To see how you can try to, because as Lesix is communicating and your character's picking up pretty quickly, Lesix, according to the orders by the letter, he's supposed to get the Achilles there as soon as he can. Because the planetary governor is requesting it. It's like, yeah, but technically there are ways that, well, the ship is helping you. It's from here, so.
Yeah, it's dispatched. It's second in command.
Yeah, it's a detachment. You mean an away team?
Yeah.
It's a detachment of shuttles. Go away. So it's a bit of bureaucratic loopholiness because if you screw it up, well, it's not difficult, but you might tick off the governor because you might be technically right, but
yeah,
and you're fulfilling the spirit of the orders, but you are kind of working against the letter of the orders.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It would be opposed, but the Tweakins almost never ask for Starfleet help because they never need it usually.
Mm-hmm.
Would the directive kick in?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
De-escalating
I wouldn't
tension?
say so because Penn actively wrote himself out of the conversation. He talked to Lesix. Lesix isn't doing this. This is Thralic going, hey, I'll do something.
No, I mean for Thralic. Would the directive kick in for Thralic?
Oh, directive?
Yeah, like
I thought
de-escalating.
like direct pass. Yes. That last directive would kick in hilariously.
Cool.
Easing diplomatic tensions, because that's. I wonder why the Romulans or Klingons are getting at each other's throats on another world. It's almost like there's an ongoing conflict going on.
Something like that, yeah. Okay. Trait of Hoplite Commander.
Yes, Hoplite Commander I would take. Differ comp.
I'll take down comp. And then trait of military family for having to work within the letter of the law quite a lot.
Comp or diff, yeah. Because Andorians have been serving in Starfleet for a while, so your military history would include Starfleet service.
Yeah. I'll take down comp again. Comp 2. Alright. And then I'll spend termination towards directive, actually.
Okay.
Since I can do it. As well. And a focus in guidance here.
In what, sorry?
Guidance.
Guidance?
Yeah. Trying to kind of maneuver the workings of the orders into how I want them to work.
Complication increase.
See if I have anything else in there. But good to have. I try and use focuses I haven't used yet.
Yeah.
Focus of strategy and tactics might be better here.
It'd be the same way, because I'm thinking more like bureaucracy, Starfleet protocols, legally, law.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it then. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Trait of relentless. I think this is the perfect time for that trait.
Comp or diff.
I'll take the comp back down.
Okay. Relentlessly trying not to tick off the governor.
Yeah, I think it's still comp 2 though, because it was raised and then lowered again.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. All right, so I'm rolling 3, and I've spent determination. All right. There we go.
You find a way to very carefully word it that you can deploy your small craft fleet of ships, which, as long as they're coming off the Achilles, it still counts as the Achilles attending to the issue, and it's Achilles' crew attending to the issue. So it's that may not be what the governor thought was going to happen, but that is technically what they requested. They kind of left that little bit of opening where you can step in, but you can't genuinely help them that way. It just means that you probably aren't going to get your shuttles aren't going to get there terribly fast unless you ask a favor from the light. Well, won't be the Lighten because they're going to be busy with the Klingons.
I know
have to
a
be
ship
the
you can
Carrick.
ask for help.
You could ask the Tripolity for help.
I have favors with the XO of the Carrick. And who's the captain of the Carrick again?
Was it Rangaric?
I think it's Rangaric. Yeah, I have a favor with Rangaric.
Yeah, Rangaric.
Yeah, Rangaric, yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 favors with him. I'll burn a favor there.
Yeah, if you you can call in a favor with the Carrick, and the Carrick can kind of volunteer to assist with this. It's like, well, we'll take your shuttles aboard us, and we'll fly you over.
Yeah. Then I'll go for that. I'll be pulling some of my hoplites off of leave. But that's better than pulling the entire ship off leave.
But as you're organizing that, you do know that you'll have to brief the rest of the senior staff why a bunch of people are suddenly being called away.
Oh, absolutely.
Chief of which is going to be Lieutenant Commander Aza, who is going to get not just 1 or 2 alerts on her. Are people doing their leave time alarm? It's all right. After all that cooking, did all this stuff, going to have this nice big banquet. What do you mean 20 people just disappeared off of the leave? What happened?
Yeah.
So, and also you'll probably want to brief your captain as to why you're taking a bunch of his crew.
I mean, I was going to, and then he said he didn't want to talk to me.
But that will be another day entirely. For that will be the end of today's episode.